How is your fundraiser going this year? If it's anything less than amazing, it's time to talk to Shawn Murphy at FanPledge. No product to sell, nothing to deliver, and guaranteed results. Raise at least 10% more than your current donation based fundraiser, or it's free. Fun, fast, proven. Call Shawn at 903-948-7348. FanPledge. The champions are already on board. Are you? Band Yap is proudly sponsored by Troubadour Consultants. When it comes to planning group travel for your fine arts program, look no further than Troubadour Consultants. Whether you're organizing a major out of state trip or need top notch accommodations for the state marching contest, John Mize and his team are ready to create a custom travel experience that meets your band's unique needs. As a family owned, band director run company, Troubadour understands exactly what it takes to make your trip stress free and seamless. Plus, when you book a trip with Troubadour, they will sponsor a $500 college scholarship for a student in your band. Directors who book will also receive a free Mollard baton as a special thank you. Visit troubadourconsultants.com today to start planning your next trip with the experts who truly get it. Carl Eidelberg judged my band my very first time taking a band UIL.
Oh, and he
and I
did
was
you?
no, he gave me a 1. He was the
Oh!
only judge.
Stuff for Dr. West goes, you know what, Shaka? You are probably one of the best musicians that I've ever heard come through this university. He goes, and it sucks that you're going to work for Primus Pride the rest of your life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Band Yap. My name is Alexa Sanchez.
And I'm Jose Sanchez.
And today we have a fresh champion. We have Shaka Hawkins. Hi, Shaka.
Hi, how's it going?
It's good.
So Shaka, what kind of like surreal life are you living in right now?
Honestly, after we got back the first day and we pulled back into the band hall, you know, we had a lot of people that were there to celebrate the kids as we drove into the parking lot and things like that. It's kind of back to normal everyday process. Every once in a while, somebody will come in and tell us congratulations. I had to do an interview just the other day, which, you know, I'm, you know, not real big on those things. I'm not a huge talking kind of person. But other than that, it's honestly like back to business now. That we've gotten past that, and we played our last football game on Friday. So I mean, it lasted for me probably about 24 hours, and then after that it was like, okay, we got to get back to the grind, so we got a lot of things we need to take care of.
So we struggle with this as well. How is it in the military band area with like being done with like contest season and having to still go to football games? Did you continue the show or did y'all do something different?
We did. So we had, it was the craziest week. So we, you know, did the state thing, and then we came back on Wednesday. Then the next day we had to celebrate by doing a homecoming parade. So we were at the school till 10 p.m. and then yeah, then the next day we had the homecoming game, which we had to perform after the game, which, you know, is the last time to do the performance for everybody. Which we still had another game. I think that, you know, our football team is, you know, not the best football team. I think we've won one game in the past 3 years. So it was very, very tough knowing that we were probably going to go into the last game and lose, but still have to show up and still do the full performance. I told the kids we're only going to do the first third of the show, then we'll end, and they're like, "Nah, bro, we're going to do the whole thing." And so I'm like, "Well, you know what? I have to judge this weekend, so you guys can do the whole thing. You go for it." But no, I
Wow.
mean, you know, it was just like I said, just another day, like another football game, another performance. You know, it's just let's just get it done and get it over with and move on.
Yeah. I, did you have to do well, that's the crazy thing. You like won the state championship in military marching and then you had to go do a homecoming
I guess we
parade.
never said that. I said Shaka was a fresh champion, but Shaka won.
I know.
State marching contest. That's
God.
awesome.
Like, oh, we're just gonna go back to our regular life. Like, what a weird like situation. Like winning on your homecoming week on top of that.
That's
Like
crazy.
that's I mean, talk about a homecoming. You probably have alumni that are coming back that are like, whoa, y'all won, like that kind of stuff. And what the experience for the kids in that way is probably like just different, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And it was nice because we did the performance post game, like I said, because it was homecoming. They did everything at halftime. So looking out in the audience to the home side. And like I said, I mean, we don't have the greatest football game, so you don't expect there to be a lot of people there, but the stands were still completely packed when we got up there for homecoming. I mean, it was nice. They got a standing ovation coming on the field. They got a standing ovation, after the performance. It was just really nice to see them get celebrated for their hard work.
Yeah, and that I mean, that's a lot of hard work.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
lot of grueling hours. And what is also very special about that is that you are in your first year as the head director at Cleveland High School. So like
Right.
how's that transition been, knowing that you came in like full swing and like ready to get to work with that program?
It's odd when you come into any kind of new program as a new director, and especially a program like Cleveland that's been such a historically successful program. Back when I was in school, I used to watch the Cleveland High School band, and we would always make sure that at Namby we were sitting in the audience to go watch them, just to watch them execute their turns and things like that. And so to be named the head director was kind of a surreal thing, because I grew up as a military kid, teaching military and marching military, and I took a little hiatus to go teach, core style. Um, and I just, getting a job at Cleveland was just something I never thought that would ever be a thing for me. Just because I just, like I said, I just remember being in awe of the aura of how they used to march at Navy and things like that. And so, and knowing Jim Jones, who used to be a band, and Pete Kunkel as well, who were both band directors for a long time in Cleveland, and just knowing that now, my name goes in that lineage of these great band directors that have come through this program.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy just because like that it is a very historic program. And then coming in as the new head director, and I mean getting those kids to respond to you the way they needed to come home with the state championship, that is like kudos to you and your staff.
It was a lot of turnover from last year to this year, and I there was only one director that was left over from last year's staff, and Jose, who's been a godsend, with helping me, know about some of the traditions and how things were done in the past, but also, I mean, him being around at the end of the year really kind of held this whole thing together and kept the kids in the band hall and kept them wanting to come back this year.
Yeah, I mean, kudos. I mean, that's a big deal because, I mean, we all know like I've taken over jobs, and I know you've taken over positions where like sometimes there's a director who's well liked or well supported, and then you're taking over for them, and I mean things are not always the easiest for those kids because like who likes change all the time? Nobody does, especially when kids get into like a comfort zone, and then for you to bring in like a new staff and you and like still adhere to the traditions while trying to make it your own, that and then like to do the thing, I mean that takes a lot of grit from the kids, and that says, like I said, a lot about you and your staff and being able to um you know give the kids everything they needed in that transition.
Absolutely.
So, Shaka, we're here to hear a lot about you. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, your education, teaching experience?
Okay. Well, this is my 18th year of teaching. I started teaching in a little small school right outside of Longview, Harleton. I was the head junior high director there at Harleton slash, high school band director. We're a small school, so you have to do both jobs. I spent 2 years there. Then after that, I moved over to Shelbyville, where I spent 7 years at Shelbyville. I started off as the assistant director there. Then I moved into the head director role once the head director retired, who told me he would be there 4 years, and that turned into 2 years. And so he tells me, "Oh yeah, I'm retiring. I want you to take over the job." And I'm like, "What?" Because I didn't, in my mind, I was not prepared for that. And so I did that. And then like I said, I grew up in East Texas, and I grew up military, and it got to a point where I needed kind of a change of scenery. And so I went to the extreme and moved to the valley for a couple of years. And after the valley, I was assistant band director at Palmview High School in La Jolla. Then I moved over to Victoria West as a head director. Spent some time in Victoria. Then went over to Tomball for a period of time, and Palacios, and now here I am in Cleveland with you guys. I grew up in East Texas. I grew up in Longview. Went to started band in Judson. Moved over to Forest Park for seventh and eighth grade, And then at the end of my freshman year, kicking and screaming, I went to move to Pittsburgh. So, and that's where I graduated from.
So you've had like this very interesting career because like you I think have found like this very interesting mix of both small school and large school like systems. What are some of the biggest differences that you've seen between like working in like the ATSSB systems versus the Team EA systems?
Well, I think the first thing is the number of kids around campus. When I was like I'll say for Shelbyville, for example, I pretty much knew every single student in the middle school and the high school because I taught middle school and high school from beginners all the way to high school. So I knew pretty much the entire population of the school because after I took over as head director, I requested to get all of the sixth graders to be in band. And so um, I mean, I saw every sixth grader, and so I knew all those kids throughout that. When I moved to Palmview, a 6A high school, going from a 2A high school to a 6A high school, I pretty much only knew the kids that were in band, and that was it. And I mean, that's kind of what it is. I mean, that's the biggest thing from pretty much knowing the entire all of the students on campus to basically knowing only the students that you have in band or the few students that you may see at a football game whose names gets called over the loudspeaker, or even the football players or the dance team people. But like as far as most of the students on the campus, I mean, just not even seeing some of them. Like there's probably students that were at Palmview the 2 years that I was there that I never even saw. And so, and then when I moved over to Victoria West, Victoria West is a large school. I guess you could say a 5A school, but it's a real still close knit community. And so I still knew a lot of the kids around campus. So I think that's the biggest thing. But then also the number of activities that kids do. You know, um, I remember there was a rehearsal I had at Shelbyville where I had a mentor come in and they sprung a track meet on me at the last second, and I had 22 kids out of my band of 60 for a track meet. And so and now being in Cleveland, I have football players, but I have 260 kids, but I've got like 6 kids that play football. So I mean that's the biggest thing. The number of activities that students do is one of the biggest differences between a large school and a small school.
So let me ask you this. I remember the first time I ever realized who you were, and it was at like the state marching contest and watching Shelbyville do their thing. So were you the first person to take Shelbyville to the state marching contest?
No, actually, so my second year there, the head director Larry Edge, rest in peace, Larry Edge. He was set in his ways. He'd been teaching for like 40 something years, and he was like, we do one contest, UIL, and that's it. And so I get there, and like the first year, the first few weeks, I'm like, man, these kids can play. Good Lord. And so I talked to him like, well, why have we never done this before? And he's like, well, the whole area thing at the time, not really, don't really understand military. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand that, but we're a small school. It seems like we would have a much better chance. And so he's like, well, you know what? You're right. And so we ended up entering and actually, getting to state. I was the assistant at the time, but we did get to state that year. And so we got to prelims and we missed finals by 1 point. I don't want to go into that whole situation, but there were a lot of parent emails to TUIL. That's I think that when you look at an ordinal sheet and you have all top 6, 7 ordinals, and then you get one ordinal that gives you second to last of the whole contest, you kind of question those kind of things. But no, it was not the first time we had ever gotten there.
Okay. Well, and that says a lot about like how even though somebody's been teaching for a long time that there's still room to grow or still um the opportunity for us to give our students more of an opportunity to shine, because like I mean, I don't know about you, so there's some things like me, I am in my comfort zone, and I've had some wonderful people come into my life that have pushed me out of that comfort zone, and it's made me a better
Right.
educator because of that. and
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
sometimes you just need that young gun of a band director to go like, "Hey, have we thought about doing this?" And it's like, well, maybe we should do that. So, were you the young gun
Yeah.
band director?
I was the young gun band director. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever let your mouth get you in trouble?
Of course. Of course. Well, no, no, not really. He was actually very receptive to a lot of my ideas and the ways that I kind of saw things. Because I mean, we actually were aligned in a lot of things educationally, and I had a lot of respect for him. So I also tried not to overstep my bounds, with him. But there were a couple of times I said, a few things during rehearsal, and I kind of got the look, and then he just kind of looked away, and I'm like, yeah, I probably should have said that. I'll go back over here and go fix some feet.
Jose used to be the young gun too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Once upon a time.
get myself in trouble every now and then, but
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
no, definitely understand that. So, so leaving Shelbyville and leaving like that experience and going to down to the valley, that is a hard and like deep culture shift. Like, what was that
Uh-huh.
like? What was that like for you going from like
East
East
Texas.
Texas down into the valley?
um, it was craziness, honestly, to tell you the truth. I had visited a few times, I have friends, Jennifer Villarreal and Corey were both at Roma, and so I had visited the valley before, and so I was like, you know what, this is a pretty cool area over here, and so I knew that Corey had taught in La Jolla, and I knew he had taught at Palm View, and I know he had a good time, and so I when I made the decision to leave Shelbyville, I had applied a few places and had a bunch of interviews, and a few times I got follow-ups that were kind of telling me people were telling me that, we really liked your interview, we really loved your passion, we just worry about the change of the size of school that you're coming from. And so I told myself, well, I think that maybe it might be in my best interest to try and take an assistant job at a larger school. And so at the time, there weren't a whole lot of opportunities that year for some reason in larger schools. And so that one popped up. I knew I had some friends there that worked in the area. And so, you know what? I've been there before. The food's delicious. So why not? Um, and yeah, I mean, the rest is history. I packed up and moved that far away. My family called me crazy, and I think and I was like, no, it'll be great, it'll be fine. And then the first time I drove back home for Thanksgiving, I was like, yeah, this is not sustainable.
Yeah, that's a
That's
distance.
far.
That is a distance.
Yes, yeah.
So, so is there a place down in that part of Texas is the must go spot for Mexican food?
What kind of question is that?
Ooh,
It's a
man.
loaded
I
question. It
know.
is.
There are man, there's a lot of places. I'll say the one place that I absolutely miss. There's a little seafood joint there. Basically, it translates into like seafood of the seven seas. Anyway, they have this seafood soup. Oh my goodness, it is, and it's like, it's the best. I go whenever I go to like a seafood restaurant that has like a seafood soup like that, like a Mexican seafood restaurant, and I ask for like a fish soup or a seafood soup. It's just not nearly as good as that at all. But there are a few places. Man, it's been so long. Like I can't remember the names of them. Like I know that there's. I could if I had Google it for me, I would look it up and tell you. But I mean, anywhere you go in the valley to get Mexican food, I mean, there's some like in Rio Grande City. There's a taco place called Loros. I mean, it's. I mean, they're fantastic. And the more rundown the place looks, the better the food is.
Yeah, honestly, moving down to the valley was probably the worst thing for your health ever.
Oh, it was. It absolutely was. Because then it was just me, and so we rehearse. We rehearse all the time, and it was every day. And so I'm getting home at like 8:30, and I'm like, I'll go get tacos. It's fine. It'll be okay. I'll go.
Is there
It'll be fine.
ever
So
is there ever a bad time for tacos?
No. And if
absolutely
someone
not.
tells
I
you
tell
that, they're
people this
lying.
exactly. I tell people this all the time. Taco is a perfect food because you can put anything in a tortilla.
Yep.
That's right. A
Hmm.
tortilla is a vehicle.
Yep. Yep.
Yes,
So, Shaka, what is your primary instrument?
the tuba player.
You're a tuba player.
Oof.
See, it's Shaka and
Y'all
I.
are the same
Yeah, we're the same.
person.
Yeah, yeah. That's the way that works. So, Shaka, why band? Why did you choose to do band?
Um, I did sports and things growing up, and I was meh at it, but I was never like, you know, oh, I'm a football star, and I never found that much fun out of it. I had fun playing it with my friends, but not as like a competitive thing. And so when I was in sixth grade, my mom was in band, my aunt was in band, my grandma had a minor degree in music, and so my uncle was in band. In fact, my aunt and uncle met in band, and so I was like, you know what, I think I'll give this a try, and I ended up just being pretty good. It came pretty natural to me. I kind of understood things when they told it to me the first time. Like it was like, here, do this. Okay, here you go. And I mean, the rest is just kind of history. Like I did it and I enjoyed it. I was in there with a bunch of my friends, some people that I'm still friends with to this day. From beginning band. And so, I mean, that's just kind of what put me on the path of it. Just doing it, trying it because my family had done it, and it just becoming something natural. That was kind of natural for me.
Was there a moment for you that you're like, this is it? This is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Um, when I was in when I was in eighth grade, at all region, I was first chair, but
I love that.
just that.
First chair. That's
It was that whole experience. And at the time, second chair was, somebody who became a really good friend of mine, Steve Stevenson, who later passed. But that experience and getting to hang out with Steve, those 2 days that we had rehearsal, I was like, you know what, man, I really like this. That was kind of the first moment. The second moment was when I moved to Pittsburgh and I got in Greg Rose's band. Like that just I don't know. It was just being in that band program and being around him and Sherry Poteet and just the level of musician that he was and how he approached everything was like, I want to do that. Like I want to be that kind of person. And and ultimately what kind of also wanted me to do that as well is that something I noticed, you know, going all over the place, being in all state and being in different region bands and honor bands, there weren't a lot of black people that were band directors, head directors at the time. And so I told myself, like, I want to be in that position so that other people will want to be in the same position as me later on one day. And so that's kind of another thing that kind of led me to want to do this for a living.
Well, since you talk, mentioned it, like, how has it been like being a minority like head director?
It's kind of tough because I feel like it took a while for people to take me serious. Not really like to my face, but kind of, you just got kind of get the sense that you never really belonged, especially when you're around a bunch of people you don't know. Like it was different when I was in East Texas because a lot of those people I grew up with. But when I'm around other people, like you kind of get the side eye, and of course, this could all just be random things like people don't know who I am. But I feel like that sometimes people look at me and they're like, "That's a band director," and I mean, I and like I said, I could be making that kind of stuff up my mind, but it is kind of tough. Just knowing that, as a young band director, there weren't a lot of people for me to actually look up to, especially in the area where I was at the time. There were some African American band directors, like at the time there was Anthony Robinson. He was an assistant band director though at the time, but but there weren't very many of us in East Texas. And so I think that was the toughest thing, not having anybody that looked like me in the positions that kind of knew, you know, knew the struggles of growing up the way that I did.
Well, and I think that is an important topic for like us to kind of hit on, because like for me, like yes, I'm a minority, but I have a very strong tie to South Texas, and like anywhere in South Texas, and you were there. You look down there, anywhere but from San Antonio down, you can see a Hispanic head
Well, like
director.
your band director looked like
Yeah,
you, and my band director, when I didn't know any differently. My band director, head band director, was a woman, and like I didn't realize that at a time. Like we're a minority in the
Yeah,
profession. Like there's not as many of
yeah,
us, but I didn't think
yeah.
anything of that. And she's a head band director. She's been there for almost like I don't know 35 years. That's crazy.
yeah. Versus like you being in East Texas and being of African American descent, like that's a struggle I will never understand, just because like I don't, because well I'm not black, and and so like also like being in Central Texas, I feel a little bit of that because like if I look at the Region 8 band director list, there's not a lot of Hispanic names. It's a lot of like Caucasian names. And I can't imagine what that was like for you and trying to figure out like, okay, like this, like who do I have to model and to look up to in that kind of regard? Because like unfortunately, finding somebody that can help you through those struggles and those like identity issues is it's very important. Because like for me, being in South Texas, or being from South Texas and coming to Central Texas, like it's hard for me to find another Hispanic director to lean on.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree. Completely agree.
So, well, I mean, shout out to you and all your mentors. I mean, like one person that I see as a minority who's like paved the way is, Carl over at, is it Somerville or Summer
Oh, yeah.
at Heidelberg?
Yeah, I told Carl this when I finally got a chance to know him. I was like, I know I've never met you before. We've always crossed paths in some form of fashion, but I am such a huge fan of yours. Like I watch videos of your band any chance I get. I just, a huge, and you've motivated me to be such a, you've motivated me to be a better band director. You've never even met me before until this moment right now.
And you're probably doing the same thing for some other, student who's like wanting to be a band director. I mean, like I said, to go in and do what you're doing, and be like, you've been successful everywhere you've been, and going into Cleveland now and doing what you have done. I mean, that is setting up this whole entire idea of like what it is to be, a role model in the minority community, especially in the music
Right.
community. That's like great. It's just like
Yeah.
what, Omar Thomas is doing for like music and like that style of thing. And like not just that style, but in music in general, because his stuff is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so like that's so important. And then that's something that people like to shy away from talking about. But like I think the less we talk about it, the less it's like such a sensitive subject, but it's so important.
Carl Eidelberg judged my band my very first time taking a band to UIL.
On
And I was
you.
I no, he gave me a 1. He was the
Oh,
only judge to but I was so scared. I was like, "Oh my god, I have to play for Carl Eidelberg." But it was fine. It was great. At least he thought it was.
Yeah, that's awesome. And another thing, with being, an African American band director is when you tell somebody that doesn't know you, like, yeah, I'm a band director. Oh yeah, you teach the how to dance. I'm like, no, I'm not that kind of black band director. I'm sorry, and I hate that I have to say that to people,
you might be a little bit
but
racist.
but it's but it's true. A lot of people think that if you're black and you're a band director, like you teach like Prairie View or Grambling or something like that. And it's like, well, I mean, I those bands are awesome, but I would not be able to do that, not at all.
Shaka, I could see you doing the drum major thing though.
But yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes,
I do love a good show band though.
I
We've
love
talked about it.
I love it. Absolutely, I love it.
I love it so
There's that
much.
whole entire thing. I don't know if you've heard about this, about them like trying to get their own state marching contest and own
There
track
was a
for show
um
bands.
was that in the legislative thing that they just had?
I
I
think
feel like
so.
I saw something about that.
But there's been discussion
I
about
think
it.
they kind of tabled it, but it's like they might talk about doing a pilot again in the future or something.
So
But yeah,
it's I was on me and George Little, us two military folk, were on the committee that created the not this latest iteration, but the iteration before this of the region area and state sheets. And so that talk, I think it was Bill Watson. Yeah, somebody I just never thought would say something. And he goes, in the state of Texas, we should have three contests. We should have one for corps bands, we should have one for military bands, and we should have one for HBCU style bands. Because there is no reason that any of these bands of these styles should be going to other states to participate in a state contest. And I remember looking at him going, "Wow, I because I completely agree, 100% agree."
It's different. Like it's 3 different activities, you know?
Yep. And we have some very, very fine educators that teach that style too.
Yes.
So really, really good educators.
Well, and it's like it's almost like the difference between like rugby and football.
And yeah. You could say you're pitting like rugby, football, and soccer against each other.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same. There's a ball and you score goals with
Yeah,
it. But
they're similar, but there are enough differences to make them different sports. Like
yeah.
Right.
that's the thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean that any one of those activities is less value, has less value for the kids than any other activity. It's just different.
I feel like because I've
Exactly.
never been in that situation, but I feel like if I was like the odd man out of style at a contest, like I would feel as a performer that it was less valued just because everyone else is doing something differently.
Mhm.
But it's not of less value. It's just like the venue that you put it in.
I wonder
So
how Brian Sowers and that band and the Tenaha band feels whenever they go to like the Nambi marching contest.
I don't know. Brian does that on purpose. So that's
Oh
like he's a
no, no,
card
no,
carrying
no,
Namby
no.
member.
He 100% does it on purpose. 100%.
Yeah, but I wonder how and
I
we
think
know we
Brian
love
feels
Brian.
pretty good about
Yeah,
it.
but like, could you imagine? Like, all right, guys, the tables have been turned. We're the only core style band here.
Oh, no. And he wears it like a badge of honor.
Oh man,
That's
that's
funny.
that's like the reverse mindset of that.
I feel like it's like our experience is so different from Shaka's because we have so few military bands here. We
Mhm.
have like one in our
One.
region, in our entire region, 1A through 6A, we have one military band.
Fairfield? Yeah, okay. Well, you had to. They had to go off and what Mr. Mark Nicholson had to go off and
Yeah,
change them.
you're not wrong about that. We did
Yeah,
have 2 bands
yeah.
and
Yeah,
now we only have
yeah,
1.
yeah. Yeah, Mark, I'm talking to you.
We'll call him and get him on here.
Oh.
Yeah.
So were you a student of Sherry Poteet?
So Sherry was at Pittsburgh Middle School when I got there, and I was already in high school. But I mean, like I said, it was a small school setting. They were the only 2 directors, so I mean, yes, I was a student at first. I mean, just 2 people that were just very, very great musicians and very good at their jobs, and rarely raise their voices to get their point across. And that's
Man.
something that I did not get from them.
And I love my band directors from high school. They molded me into a but man, I would have loved to have Sherry as my band director. Like to have her come in and just like just like
I
get
don't
everybody into shape. Ooh. Ooh. Well,
that's
that just
We
wasn't
just
very good.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's she doesn't demean or anything. It's just like, hey, that's just not very good. Here's why it's not very good. Do you understand why it's not very good? Because I've heard her come out to my school a few times too, and that's just super positive. Just enjoying what she's doing, especially like the mentoring younger teachers now.
Yeah, she's a
yeah.
master educator in
Oh yeah,
all facets. So
absolutely.
so so Pittsburgh did the ATSSB. So you're an ATSSB All Stater?
I am.
Oh, fantastic! What years were you in the All State band?
Um, 97 and 98.
97, 98. Okay, you were a little bit ahead of me. I was
I was
hoping.
I was about to ask if Shaka was the mysterious roommate that you and Zach Sims may have shared, but no one knows for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I found those old flyers, and I pulled them out and started looking at names and trying to see. Oh, I went to school with this person. I went to school with this person. Oh, this person, I know this person still. And so, like, Jeremy Strickland and I
Uh,
were in an all-state band together. We didn't know each other, but we were in an all-state band together. Like, he's the first one that comes to mind of all the people.
I'm sure, like Jose, if you looked
oh,
back, I
yeah.
think you did
Oh
that.
yeah, I did that. Like Wiley Gore over at Robinson and
There's like
I,
so
Zach
many
Yeah.
people.
Sims.
Yeah.
Like the weird thing is that I'll look at that program or I've done it before, and like Little Elm is like in a small school category, and like
Right.
Alito is underneath the small school
Oh yeah.
category,
Yep.
and it's just like you
Yeah.
look at them now, you're like, nope, nope.
I feel like I saw somebody post something the other day. I don't remember if it was marching band related or even band related at all. It might have been football related, but it was like from like the early 2000s or late 90s, like a list of schools that like qualify for playoffs or for marching or whatever. And it was like all the small schools were like what you just said. It was like Aledo, Frisco, all of those schools were like 2A, 3A, and that's like so crazy. They're
Yeah, there
massive.
was a Fritz horn player from Alito. He was a 4-year All-Stater, and the 2 years that I was there, he was first year both those years. And I mean, he was just incredible French horn player, and he was a big old 6'3", 250-pound football player.
Man, those are getting so hard to find
Oh
nowadays.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
6'3" football players?
Yeah, 6'5", 200. Yeah,
yeah. The French horn looked this small when he was holding it, like
look like a
you know,
pocket
piccolo
trumpet.
French horn. Yeah, like yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god! I
That's
was
funny.
trying to explain to Alexa the other day, Alan Bear, the tuba
Oh, the
player,
tubas?
and
Yeah.
like him playing like a 7-quarter tuba,
Well, it's
and
because I
it's
asked
still
about
Yeah.
looking like small on
what did
him
I ask that inspired that? It was like
because
we
I
were
was
talking about what to buy, or
yeah,
if you were gonna buy a tuba, like what would you
yeah.
want?
I mean, if I bought a C
Because no,
tuba,
I remember what it was.
okay,
I said if you like, would you buy a 5
yeah,
quarter?
5-quarter,
And that's what you started talking about.
yeah.
That.
It's like
And
5
then he was
quarter.
showing me all these pictures of Alan Bear's tubas and
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call him a tuba, I mean,
Yeah, like they are just big old
contraptions.
things. Well, like she's a
yes, yeah,
percussionist, and like all of her friends were percussionists, so
Of
I
course they
hung
were.
around with all the percussionist people all the time. So I
Well, find
know,
more tuba friends, Jose.
yeah, well,
That's why Shock is
well,
here.
here's the thing about having tuba friends is when you have tuba friends, all you do is drink and eat,
See, I
and
wouldn't know.
so therefore you don't remember half the things that you talk about.
You don't remember who your friends are
Yeah, but
either.
that's why we had a little thing in college called tuba punch.
I didn't get invited to that.
yeah, no, no.
Yeah,
Well, you also went to that public university. We went to a private
Yeah,
university.
we went
The
to
vibe is a little bit different.
we had Dr. Pepper floats.
oh yeah, no, we had a tuba punch, and it was very very famous, and still is very very famous.
Goodness gracious.
Find somebody from SFA around my time and ask him about it.
I'm sure we could do
we
that.
could do that real fast. So like how has like growing up in the small school like and then teaching in the small school like how's that molded you as far as an educator?
I think that the biggest thing is it's taught me a lot about patience. It's taught me, just to be patient with students, to realize that band isn't always their biggest priority. Like I talked about, just a second ago, the Fritz horn player from Alito, who was an all-state Fritz horn player, but he was also a starting lineman on the football team. And of course, Alito, powerhouse football team for years and years and years. And so, yes, he was an all-state Fritz horn player, but there are times that, I want to say he was an all-state football player as well, or all district football player. And so, I mean, there are times that band is not always going to be their priority. And so sometimes they're not mentally going to be there. And so it taught me to have, a lot of patience with them. It taught me to put more emphasis on communication from the kids and teaching them how to communicate and what that means to communicate, as far as making sure that you communicate not only with me, but you communicate with your other coaches and you communicate with your parents, so that they know where you're going to be and when you need to be there and how they're going to pick you up and if they need to pick you up and things like that. Um, it also taught me how to be a better communicator with other people, as far as to be communicating with coaches and administration, making sure that they always are caught up with all of my band happenings. And when I was younger, I would just schedule stuff and not really tell anybody, and then I would be upset when a kid would miss because they had a basketball game or something, and it's it took somebody going, well, did you look at the basketball schedule? I'm like, no, why would I? Because they're in both. Like, you expect them to be here for your things, and they're expected to be at the other thing too. It's your responsibility to make sure that you are not stepping on the toes of the other people. And so, and I mean, those are things that have kind of, that's what teaching in a small school taught me, and just you know, a greater appreciation for the kids and their time when they're with you, and making sure that you're not wasting their time when they're with you, and you're being productive when you have them, and the times that you have them, because there might be times that you might only have them for one day that week, and then the rest of the week they may have to go to something else. And so just making sure that you're prepared and you're not wasting their time.
Yeah. I mean, because how much of the band over at Shelbyville would you say was involved in other activities?
Probably 90% of it.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
90% because when I first got there, we had 7th through 12th grade in the high school band. And so most of the middle school kids were all in athletics. And then in high school, I didn't have a whole lot of football players that were varsity, like they would do junior varsity or something, and most of them would end up quitting. But like one year, my first year tuba player was a starting safety for the football team. And at the time, the football coach was not willing to share. And so I had to go every football game without having my first year tuba player in the stands or on the field. And so, I mean, 90% of the kids were in some kind of activity, be it in the fall or in the spring. So I had to be really, really, careful on how I schedule things and how I schedule them and time frame and things like that.
So, and within when you went over to Palmview, that was a very different type of aspect because you were an assistant down in Palmview, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, how was that there in comparison? Like, were the kids like still really involved or were they a little bit more concentrated?
Kids were still involved. We didn't have a whole lot of kids that played football. In fact, I don't think the kids were allowed to do football and band. I think they might have changed since then, but they couldn't do varsity sports in band. Um, and we had some kids that did like cross country. We had some kids that did like the other sports like tennis and cross country, but most of them did like again track in the spring. Nobody really did any fall sports. We didn't have any basketball players. We didn't have any no, we didn't have any volleyball players either. So it was mostly like track or tennis, something like that. JV football.
So, let me ask you this because you've done both styles of marching band, what are some of the pros and cons of being in the military realm versus being the core style realm? The pros and cons of both those activities.
The biggest pro of being in the military is not spending a bunch of money. I mean, that's the biggest pro. I mean, if like for real, like not having to spend, you know, $20,000 on a designer, that $20,000 like I could spend solely on repairs and supplies and things like that. So I mean that is the biggest pro with teaching in military. One of the biggest cons is teaching military, and it's just, and I say that just because it's teaching core is tough. It really is, like, especially now, with like the visual vocabulary you have to perform with, and I mean, you're aware of this now. Like, you have to know what a plie is, you have to know what all these things are. But with military, you know, it's the detail in the actions and what you're doing, and um, marching in straight lines. I mean, I don't have to tell you this. Like you do basics every single day, and just doing that with just in the summer when you're teaching core, just marching 8 to 5, just teaching those kids how to march in line is bad enough. Now imagine having to do that every single day, every single performance, just straight line and 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 straight line. It's tough and it gets very, very frustrating because with military, like obviously, if you mess up with core, you can hide that some. If you're in a wrong spot, if you're looking, you can see the intervals aren't quite lined up. But in military, if you miss a turn, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And sometimes depending on what kind of turn you're doing, it's not a quick fix. Like you can miss that turn and you gotta get your butt, you gotta run back across the field and get up in there. So I think that's one of the biggest cons is it's just teaching military itself because the detail that goes into it. 6 to 5 is a large step size. You don't realize it until you get up there and you try to march 6 to 5. But then not only that, having to put, either your heel on the yard line or the middle of your foot, depending on what kind of style it is. So, like I said, just teaching military is the biggest con um, of it. But like I said, but the biggest pro is just not spending money. All of our music is public domain. We don't have to really pay for it. It's there. So
Do you write your own drill?
I did write my own drill this year, yes, and I've always written my own drill for military, yes.
Well, like I think when a student misses something in military style marching, it's much more catastrophic than what it
Yes.
is
Oh yeah.
in core style. Because if a kid, like if they do a counter march early, they're gonna like that is, I mean, that is catastrophic. Would you say? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. And sometimes like I have to be careful. How I say this, but sometimes people write drill and they don't you know think about drill in sets. Like in core you learn drill in sets. And I think that when I first started writing military drill, I didn't think about it that way because I didn't know any better. So I would put turns in the middle of a phrase and in different places. But if you do something like that and you're trying to do like a specific move where one person starts off the move and that person turns in the wrong spot, it's over. And it's almost impossible. And I've seen it happen before. It happened. I remember there's an old video of Pittsburgh at the Jamboree contest back in the day where a drum major blew a wrong whistle and one half of the band turned, but the other half of the band kept going like they were supposed to be going, and it just they had ended up having to stop and just kind of reline and start the drill over again. So I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. Like if you miss something, it can be catastrophic.
Yeah. Versus like if a student in core style steps off early, they can hide that
It
or like
doesn't like
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and that's why like in core style you can do an adjust a step and like everything's
Adjust the step.
okay.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. But in military, if they're not taking their 6 to 5, it is like very, very obvious.
Yes, absolutely.
I would like to go watch a military band rehearse because I feel like I don't know anything about it.
Well, you got to burn some stumps.
Yeah.
You have to burn some
I gotta
stumps.
go
For some
like
stuff.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you got one not too far up the road. I mean, Fairfield's not that far of a drive.
It's not that far. It's not that far.
Yeah. It's just like it's just so foreign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so curious because I find it so interesting because it's so different.
Well,
Right. Yeah.
and I appreciate a good military marching band. Like when there's a good military marching band, I mean it's just like a good core style band. Like when they're like it's on,
It's
it's
so
like
cool. Like it's I don't know the precision. Like
yeah. I mean
it's
it's
fun to watch.
impressive.
And I think one of the coolest things about military also is like when you're looking at just the feet and their legs, and the traditional military uniform has that stripe down the leg, and you get that when everybody's moving in time and in motion, you get that stripe, solid, stripe, solid. It's just a real cool effect when you see that, especially if a really good core band, I mean, a really good military band has white pants on, like Lufkin, Spring Hill, like just you just watch that and watch those white pants. It's just like, oh man, that's just beautiful stride.
And there's just such a tradition that is in that style that isn't quite in the core style that is just so like ingrained that the pride, it's just like the Texas pride.
Well,
You leave the state of Texas, you slap anyone that says, Texas sucks, like automatically there's a hand, you know. And we've talked about this on the pod before. Like people will take Texas soil and put it in hospitals for their kids to be born on Texas soil. That's the intensity I feel of like military marching band.
I feel like core style is
Absolutely.
like the Wild West.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just core is like you just throw spaghetti at the wall and like you just see what's the new thing, you know?
Hey, I mean, there's a band doing a show about spaghetti this year, so there you go.
Yep, yep,
That's
yeah,
true.
exactly,
That's true.
exactly. That's what
That's right.
happened. Well, I thought it was so funny because like Hebron had a fantastic show this year, like fantastic show.
Field trip.
Yes. Well, you know what? I doom scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, just because what I'm a millennial.
Right. Yeah.
But
Thanks for
I
explaining.
um but I saw a clip of the Velvet Knights and they had like a tour bus on the field. I was like, that's Hebron's show.
I've actually seen that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like how far like there's so many different things about like core style and the creativity that is just different from the military. The military has to be creative in a different way.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I agree.
So
And you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, marching military is like a badge of honor, and I think that comes from there being such a lack of military bands in the state that we take pride. Military kids take pride in what they do, and just the tradition of it all. Just military, and so you kind of relate that to the actual military, even though they're two completely different things. But you just kind of get that sense of I'm in a military band, like everything has to be serious, and everything's serious and aggressive, and we're a military band. There are no other bands like us in the state.
Well, one of the best tuba players I've ever met is from Lindale,
Oh, really?
Clay Garrett.
Oh, he's
I was
from
just say, I
Lindale?
was
He's
gonna
from
say, was
Lindale.
it Clay? Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I figured you were talking about Clay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know Clay was from
yeah.
Lindale.
Him and I were in the All-State
yeah.
band
Oh,
together.
I did not know that
Clay's
And
either.
then
a
we went to Baylor together for a second.
Yeah,
Huh.
Clay, great guy, playing those baby blues.
Yeah. Well, he's one.
Oh
Yeah. And he's one, like, honestly, like, such a nice guy.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's
Like,
very nice.
yeah, but Clay's from Lindale.
I did not realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
He started SFA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason I know that is because he, like, wore the white uniform with the blue, and then what's
At
the
Allstate.
middle thing on the military uniforms called?
The
It's generally
breastplate.
made out of metal. Yes, the breastplate. Oh, the thing in the middle of
I
the
had no
breast.
idea what you
Yeah,
were
the
talking
thing in the
about.
middle. Yeah, you had
Breastplate.
me confused at first, and I was like, I don't know what
How,
that is.
how do we know Jose knows nothing about military
I
marching
know,
band?
really.
Breastplate. Are there any other parts of the military marching band and, like, uniform that we should know about so I don't sound like a dummy?
But you got your breastplate, your cross belts, and your buckle.
Okay.
The one thing that weirds me out though is the shorts.
The shorts?
With
That
the majorettes.
I'm just like, oh, shorts. Because when was the last time you saw a core style band wearing shorts?
probably never.
Yeah, probably never.
Yeah. See,
Well, I mean, you
yeah.
had what the cadets. I mean, they had on compression pants, but they had on shorts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
True.
Huh.
Was that the last year they were in existence?
I think that was.
I think that might have been kind of a money issue.
I kind of remember that. I'd have to look back at a picture of it.
The Atlas Rising, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
yeah,
remember that.
Well, do you have any drum corps affiliations?
yeah. I was with the Crossmen in 20. Well, I didn't march. I just taught. I was with the Crossmen in 2014. I was with Troopers for 4 years. I don't remember what 4 years, and then I was with Genesis for 3 years as well.
That's awesome.
So, how did you get plugged into that?
My fraternity little bro, Anthony Curtis, he was ingrained in the DCI world for a long time, and he always told me like, "Hey man, whenever I get a chance to be a brass caption head, I really love you, to get you on staff." And so he ended up being hired as a brass caption head for Crossman, and so that's how I kind of got my foot in the door. And then so there was a specific team of us, like me and him. There's Bill Hawks, probably a bunch of people you don't know, Amanda Stevenson, and some other people, and we all just kind of stuck together. And so we were all at the Crossmen, and then we all moved over to the Troopers, and then a lot of us moved over to Genesis as well.
So, how were those summers for you?
They were great. The very first summer I went on the road, like I said, I didn't march drum corps, so I wanted to be Mr. DCI. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be gung ho DCI, and I did. I want to say 8 weeks in a row on the charter bus, and my knee
Whoa.
has not felt right since then. And so, and I mean, and they're hard. It is hard. I will tell you that. Like, I feel like that when I did drum corps that first year in 2014, it unlocked so many different things about me as a teacher, not just like teaching things, but my attention to detail. Because I mean, you're literally sitting there. Okay, well, you get 4 hours of teaching tuba subs. Literally 4 hours of teaching tuba. You think about that, Jose. Teaching your own instrument for 4 hours outside.
Could not pay
And
me enough.
then and then that night doing another ensemble where you're out on the field, but you're having to follow your section around the field and give them feedback right in front of them, and you have to worry about, of course, being mowed down, or like me my first summer getting hit in the head with a rifle. um but it was a blast. It was an absolute blast doing that. And you know those kids are just, it's completely different. Like, you're still teaching kids, but it's kind of it's a different level of kid. It's something different about a kid that you see every day that has to go to school, than a kid that you're teaching that had to pay $5,000, and if they get sent home, they don't get a refund. They're on their best behavior the whole time. But no, I mean, it's just, those DCI kids are hardcore, because I mean it's a hardcore life doing DCI. It is not easy having to sleep on a gym floor. Basically knowing that you're wearing a shirt that you've worn for 3 days in a row without having to wash. It's a really really tough thing. But man, like I said, it unlocked a lot of things for me. Like paying attention to detail, and just again being patient and not settling for just, oh, you played it right. No, you played it right, but there's still these things that can be fixed, which is also a blessing and a curse. But um, you know, there were times, I got to visit a lot of places. Like, I got to go all the way to Seattle, Washington. I got to go to the hottest parts of California and Arizona. In fact, after that first year with the CrossFit, when we went to Arizona, I told Anthony I will never ever do the Arizona tour again. You will bring me in after that.
That's
And he
fair.
said, okay. But no, I mean, it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Do you have a favorite part of like the marching arts?
I think my favorite part of the marching arts is getting to go and just see so many different groups. But I mean, seeing my friends do well, that's an awesome part of it. But also just going and seeing the thought process that people are putting into things. Some of the things, like, and the creativity and originality, which is getting rare in marching band these days. Trust me, I have a whole list of things that, in my eyes, like, you can never do this show. But just to see, how the creativity, like, I don't know if you guys have seen, Flower Mound's show this year. They've been going this direction of doing art, and Hebron and Leander, some of these schools that are just doing fun shows. Like, you can be successful and be competitive and still have fun on the field. I just love that aspect of the marching arts.
Yeah, there's just so much out there. Like
Yes.
when I got my first like real full dose of like Flower Mound was the Dr. Seuss show, and I was like visually overstimulated.
You were.
I there was just so many things on the field that
It's so
show
cool.
specific. Oh my goodness.
When you grow up military, like, I only saw the core bands that were in my area, which at the time there weren't a lot of them. And so I didn't know about drum corps. I didn't know about BOA until I was in college. In fact, I really didn't know about BOA until I started teaching. And so one year I decided, you know what, I'm going to go over to San Antonio and check out this BOA San Antonio show and see what it's all about. And I just remember sitting there for 4 hours, and that was the first time I didn't even know where Flower Mound was. And it was the Michelangelo, not the Michelangelo show, the the flying show, and they played, the Firebirds and things like that. And I was just like, oh my god, this is high school band? Are you serious? And then, like, I saw Keller, which I knew about Keller because I've had some friends that went to school there. But just seeing some of those band programs that I had never heard of before, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is crazy. This is craziness.
I felt that way. And I can't remember what year it was. It was Wakeland when they did the Midas Touch show,
Oh yeah, I kind of remember that.
and how like throughout the show, kids would change into gold uniforms after they had been
Yeah.
touched.
Hmm.
Like that was such a cool. I was like, that is so simple,
That was cool.
but it's so effective. I mean, we just watched Cedar Park, and like their show is just called Listen,
Mhm.
and golly, God, they
Well,
put some fire on
that's
that thing.
Yes.
I was gonna say that's one thing that Cedar Park does. They make you listen because they will put some air to the instruments.
Yeah. Woo, woo. It's such a good thing. So Shaka, and I said this earlier, you have been successful like everywhere you've gone when it comes to like the product you're putting out in the field, what you're doing in the concert setting, help point a program in the right direction. Like how do you handle the pressure of that kind of mentality?
Man, I find myself, with a little bit of imposter syndrome at times, with that. And so I don't know if you really ever, like, handle it. I just think you just find kind of a blueprint and just try not to stray away from that, but at the same time, like, try to move the needle forward and somehow. And I think, part of me handling the fact that I've been successful and things that keep me grounded is just, making sure that I have people that are in my life that are just smarter and way better than me and force me to want to be better because I want to be just as good as they are. And so and to just not even try to look at it like, oh, I'm trying to do this to be successful. And it's more like I'm doing this, to teach these kids, to give these kids an experience, to teach them lifelong lessons. And if we win a few things here and there, then I'll be satisfied with that. But when I was younger, I put a lot of emphasis on getting first divisions. We have to get a first division. We have to do this. We have to do this. And like, you know, I'll tell you, like this whole state marching contest thing, I was just happy that we were there. You know, us winning was never on my radar. I just wanted them to get there because that was a goal that they set for themselves.
Let me go ahead and add, and this is kind of a sensitive, a very sensitive question, because like I know I have imposter syndrome and I know I struggle with sometimes the payout of the job, and sometimes I struggle with like the amount of emotion and the self-sacrifice that I've put into my job as well. And that's a hard balance. Like, has there been ever a time where you've struggled with like the job, or like thought about walking away from the job?
Yeah, every day around 7:30 p.m. when I'm going to my car after rehearsal, I had to ask myself, is this do I keep want to keep doing this or not? No, I mean there have definitely been times, and a lot of that really started, I think probably for most people like me after COVID. Because I just think that teaching now is hard. It is very hard. Like the kids are different, but it's not the kids. Dealing with the kids is not the biggest issue. It's dealing with the other stuff that's a part of the job that becomes very, very overwhelming. And I feel like that it just never ends and never ends and never ends. And so that, yeah, there was absolutely times that I was like, I can't continue to do this. There's no joy in this for me anymore. Like I come to work and I sit in my car for 20 minutes and then I finally go inside like right before class starts. Or I would find myself, you know I would always stay after school and hang out and let the kids practice and things like that. And there was a time where I was just like, bell rings, I'm out of here. Bell rings, I'm out of here. And I pick and choose my days that I do that now. But no, there are definitely days that I've woken up in the morning and gone to class and just been like, I don't want to do this now. And it's not even during class. Like when I'm in front of the kids and the kids are around, it's all fantastic. It's that time that they're not there and I'm looking at my email and I'm reading this email from, about this or and about this, or hey, I need you to submit this ASAP. And it's like, really, you want me to do this ASAP? But I asked you a question 3 months ago and you still haven't answered that question, but you expect me to do this at the drop of a hat. So just things like that really, make it hard sometimes to really want to continue to teach. But again, like the thing that keeps me going and keeps me around are the kids, and and them showing up every single day, and just knowing that even when they have a bad day and they're acting out, they still actively want to be there. They're still coming to rehearsal, they're still showing up, they're still walking to the door, they're still putting their horns to their faces and playing. And who am I to go, well, I can't do this anymore when they're there for me. So
Yeah. And like I know that I've struggled with some of that sometimes, because like I'm one of those kind of people that continuously asks to get beat up, as like I'm sending stuff out to people left and right and telling me like, what am I doing wrong? Like, how can I fix this? I mean, because just like you, probably like you're probably the same as me, is that like you take what we do very personally, and what how we like train our kids, and how with the product we put out on the field, and like how the kids are performing, and that's almost like a big part of you. And then like you're putting it out there for everyone to see, and everyone has an opinion about what you're doing, and like
mhm.
this and that, like and I think that's a little bit different than what like athletics is, because like anything can happen on any like individual play, But with us, we are so methodical and so precision driven, and we add like an extra element of emotion to that, that it becomes like a huge functioning part of who we are. And then we take it to adjudicators and ask them to tear it apart, or we send it to friends and clinicians and tear it apart. And then sometimes you have to deal with either administrators or other people telling you you're not doing a good job in these other ways. So like we're consistently fighting the sense of like deconstruction, and like what that can do to our self-worth as like people is like really difficult. And I know I've struggled with that throughout the marching season. And then sometimes you get a student or somebody who goes like, I don't feel like you value or like you're doing a good job with what we're trying to do, and that's just like a dagger in what
Yeah,
we're like. And that, because yeah, everyone has opinions and everyone has all these different types of things, and it's just like you're beating yourself up consistently and then taking it to contest and going like, well, that wasn't good enough.
yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And it's even harder when, like, you're at the school every day till 8, 9 p.m. doing all these things, and then, admin comes in, and tells you, slaps your hand for, well, you didn't submit this paperwork the way I wanted you to submit this piece of paperwork. And it's like, yeah, sorry, I was at the band hall till 10 o'clock last night. And when I got home last night, I couldn't sleep. And I've really been on an hour of sleep. So sorry, I forgot to, dot this I across this T in this email. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's just like we're workhorses, and like sometimes it is hard to find the value in it, and it's just like, but we once we get back in front of the kids, it's like, this is the reason I love this.
Yeah. And it's that it always, I, I always make the joke that I hate kids. I really don't hate kids, but I hate kids. And so, because, they'll do something. It'll just be that one kid that has just been just like on your nerves for like 2 straight weeks, just causing issues, blah, blah, blah. And then just one day they come in and they go, you know what, Mr. Hawkins, I love band. I'm glad you're my band director. And then 3 hours later, they go right back to what they were doing before. That's why I hate kids.
That's like our own children when they like come and like hit us or something, throw something at
Yeah.
us, and then like 5 seconds later they're like, "I love you, mommy." Why are you hurting me?
Yeah,
It's
same
Yeah,
like,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Like, you
exactly,
just
exactly,
bit me.
yeah, exactly.
exactly,
That
exactly.
that happens to me all the time.
So, is there anyone that you would like to like shout out that has helped you like keep yourself grounded or help point you in the right direction?
I've been blessed to have, so many friends in this profession and outside the profession, and mentors. When I first started teaching, Doyce Grant, he was always around. He came to our rehearsals when I was in high school, him and his father. And so he was somebody that I really leaned on a lot when I first started teaching in East Texas. And still to this day, I send him videos. And I talked to him at the state contest, and so, it's just always a joy to get to talk to him and see him. The past few years, Charles Aguian has been a real close friend and mentor of mine that I talk to, you know, at least once a week or so. He always comes out to hear my band. He did our leadership camp this summer. I've got so many group chats with so many people. Amanda Stevenson, is somebody that's really close to me. That's like a sister to me. Amanda has the best stories in the world. I tell you. You should get Amanda on your podcast and see if she'll tell you a few of them. But
We
um,
should.
she always, yes, I mean she's fantastic. I mean she's absolutely the best. And so we have impeccable timing where I'll have a bad rehearsal day and I'm like, it's such a bad day. I'll get in my car and turn my car on and Amanda Stevenson calling. And I answer the phone, Shaka Hawkins, let me tell you. And then 2 hours later, I have a group chat with some other friends, Corey Graves, Jason Fennells, Jennifer Villarreal, my friend Theo, who's a color guard director at Brazos Wood. I mean, there's just so many people that I talk to that, keep me going. And, I know that I can speak to those people in any chance I get. Brian Sowers. We talked about Brian earlier. I talked to Brian on Tommy Craig Haney. Well, I give Brian crap all the time, and so
Somebody
and
needs
so,
to.
Oh, it's yeah, I know how to get him every single time. Like he'll post stuff on Facebook and I'll make a comment and I'll wait 10 minutes for him to call. And it's like clockwork. It always happens. But Brian, Brian and I we talk all the time and I vent to him, he vents to me, same thing with Craig and just some friends I grew up with in college too. Just I just so many people that keep me grounded and to keep me going on a daily basis. Just so many people that I can't even name them all.
That's awesome.
Well, it takes a village. It really does. It takes a village. I mean, over the past few years, my village has gotten even larger, which I really, really appreciate every single person that's in it.
I ain't got no friends, so
I'm a very social person. I try to, you know, I try to be nice to everybody, and as much as I can. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I'm brutally honest, about a lot of things, and not a lot of people like that, sometimes. And so, but I want people to be honest with me too, as well.
Yeah, that's that the blessing and the curse that I'm going to be
that's
real
like
with you,
this
but
this is what this makes me
Yeah,
think of. When you go to contest or something and you're there to be adjudicated and then people get mad about what's written on the sheets, it's like, why go? You know?
right,
Like,
right.
why go? And I understand, like, there's some subjectivity there, but, like, if you're gonna be that way when people are just, like, doing their job, like, why go? Why are you gonna do that?
yeah, you can't make everybody happy. But like I said, you've been successful like everywhere, and that has to come down to like what you do culture wise. Like, what are some of the important things that you do in order to bring like the culture you want into your band hall?
I think that I mean the first thing is coming in and telling leadership, not even really telling leadership, but expressing my expectations of the program to the leadership right from day one. Like these are the things that I expect of you. These are the things that, if we truly want to be successful, then these are the steps that we need to take. But then not only that, like making sure that I stick to those expectations and I keep reminding them what those expectations and goals are. But then, to just show up every single day for them prepared and showing them that I'm invested in this with them as much as like, if I'm going to be hard on them because I'm pretty tough on the kids. I try to get as much out of them as I can, but then I tell them, I make sure that they understand like I'm way tougher on myself than I am on you guys. And so like these days that you think that I'm being extra rough on you, when I go home at night and I'm at home, like I'm thinking about what did I do? How did I screw that rehearsal up? Because it wasn't a bad rehearsal because of you guys. It was a bad rehearsal because of something I did. And so, like, I'm as equally as tough on myself. And so I set high expectations for the kids, but I also set high expectations for myself as well. And I mean, and just like showing them and just, reminding them, like, for the kids, it's about getting where they want to get first divisions, all these things like that. And getting a first division is easy, guys. If you just show up, you put the work in, the first division happens. But don't just shoot for that. Shoot for what's past the first division.
That's something that's sometimes directors do, is that they blame the kids for like the things that are going poorly, when it's like, we should look in the mirror a little bit more often. I've been guilty of like, man, the kids were just off that day or they didn't do well, and it's like maybe it's because I didn't engage them enough in rehearsal. So you're just continuously trying to evaluate, and that goes back to like, once again, like beating yourself up consistently through that process, which makes things like it's that double-edged sword. Like, great, you're gonna do the thing and you're gonna operate at a high level, but at the same time, like it takes a certain amount of you with it.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
Shaka, is there a mistake that you've made that's made you a better educator?
So when I first started teaching, I think I started teaching I was pretty old when I started teaching. I was in my late 20s. I spent a good amount of time in college. Not because I didn't know what was going on, just because I had an issue with getting my butt up and going to class. And
Happy to
so,
hear that.
yeah, well, sometimes, but then some of that's just, like I said, oh, this is easy. I know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go to class. I'll still get a good grade on the test. Well, getting a good grade on the test means nothing when you miss 15 classes. So, um, So when I first started teaching, I suffered from I know it all. I know everything. I've seen this done a million times by these other people. I'm just gonna do what they do, and everything will work out fine. And I thought it was great. You know, George Little. I don't know if you know George Little. I've known
Hmm.
George since high school. There's another person that I was at All State with. George was teaching right down the road in New Diana. And I said, "Hey man, I want you to come out, hear my group, man." Yeah. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, man, he's gonna come over and it's gonna be the greatest thing in the world." And I remember him sitting through class, and he basically took over the class. And when he got done, I go, "So what did you think?" He goes, "Can you take a day off in a couple of days and come over?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, yeah, yeah, yeah." And so, I tell, my head director at the time, "Hey, I'm gonna go over, and talk to George, blah, blah, blah." And I'm thinking it's gonna be this great thing. And he goes, "Shaka, we've known each other for a long time, and I've told you numerous times that I think that you are one of the smartest and probably one of the best musicians I've ever heard in my life." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "So it really hurt me to see how bad of a teacher you are." And if he listens to this podcast, I'm sure he's not gonna want me to tell that story. But and he was like, "And I'm saying that to you because I have so much respect for you as a friend." And then he just proceeded to break down, like, all these things that I was doing wrong that I thought was right. And it was just like basic things that I'm just, looking over, like the fact that my kids were not sitting correctly. Not all my kids were not holding their horns the same way. And it was just like all those problems were just causing all these other problems. And it's like these are just things I just didn't think about because like I just knew everything because I was just doing things because I was a good musician. And it's just like, I needed that swift kick in the butt from him, and I'm glad it happened. And I remind him of it all the time. And he was like, "I hate when you talk about that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, I needed that. Like, I absolutely needed that butt kicking at the time." So I think that would be the one thing, that mistake is like not um not taking advantage of people to come see me teach and teach me how to be a teacher sooner.
Yeah. I think that's always something that I think everyone needs.
Mhm.
Like they need that person who is like somebody they respect and somebody they trust that is willing to just punch you in the nose.
Yeah, no, there was, Doyce the same thing. Like there was a year that Doyce came out to hear my band, and he was like, "Shaka, you're sitting at like a almost a 2 minus right now, and this is 3 weeks before contest." And I'm like, and again, like I had to sit back and reevaluate, what I did wrong. And so, I was still young at the time, but I think that um, I listened, I went back and reevaluated what was going wrong, and he told me some of the things that were going on. And of course, I had to make those changes, and we ended up getting second place in honor band that year. But again, like, had he have not told me, the truth about what was going on, that probably would have never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like having that one friend to tell you like, that outfit don't look good on you, girl.
Yeah,
That one,
absolutely.
that was not
And
it.
being honest about it
Yeah.
and why,
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
got some friends that'll do that in a heartbeat.
But like,
that's how you know they're the real ones.
yeah,
Oh yeah, they do that. You sure you want to wear that?
yeah, and that's like such an important thing because I mean, we get. I mean, I don't know about you, but I get blinders on. Like
Yeah,
I get ear blind because I hear the progression and like how much better things sound versus like what is actually happening.
yeah. Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
so that's always a tricky thing. So what's some advice you would give like young band directors?
Um, I think the first thing that I would tell a young band director would be, find a mentor. Find a mentor from day one. Like you sign your contract, find you a mentor. Yes, if you're going to be an assistant director, then hopefully you have a head director that can mentor you. But outside of that, somebody that you don't see every single day, find you a mentor. preferably somebody that you don't know, somebody that's never been in your like you've never seen before, somebody you've never met before. I feel like that I've had that happen before where I've had somebody come out and hear my band that I have no kind of association with, and I learned so much from that person. So I would say find a mentor. When you find that mentor, you know, don't just let them run your rehearsal. Like, listen to the things that they're saying, take notes, ask questions. But more than anything, when you have a clinician out and they tell you something, do it. Like you had them come out for a reason, and a lot of the time you probably paid for them to come out. It makes no sense for you to pay a clinician to come out, and then the moment they leave, you don't fix the things that they tell you to fix. How are you becoming a better teacher like that? Like that's their job. Um, do the things that they ask you to. Another thing, go to other people's band halls. Go watch other people rehearse. Go watch how people do things. I talked about George. Luckily, George is right down the road. I could go see George in New Diana. I remember I spent a day and I went over to Union Grove to watch Mark Melton and Aaron Hendorf teach. I went over to Gilmer Middle School to watch Brandon Gorman teach, at the time. Get yourself in other people's band halls and watch them. Like, don't just admire them from afar. Don't just go, oh man, this person's such a great teacher. Well, go find out why they're such a great teacher. I feel like that most band directors that we all think are the best teachers in the profession, all of them are always willing to help out. You just have to ask them, like, hey, can I come watch you rehearse? Can you come watch me rehearse? Can you give me any tips or anything like that? So, um, and I think that, the last thing would be just be consistent with everything that you're doing. Don't just give up. Like if you try something one day and it doesn't work, don't just give up. Try and try and try until you realize that no, that absolutely doesn't work. You've got to be consistent in the things that you're doing. Um, yeah, and don't go into a situation thinking that you have all the answers because you don't. Not at all. I went to a clinic one time with Jerry Junkin, and Jerry Junkin, made a comment like, "I don't know everything in the world. I'm still learning from other people." And I feel like that if Jerry Junkin is admitting that he's still learning from other people, who am I to say that I have it all figured out?
I tell people all the time, I'm a big old dummy.
Yeah,
Which is true.
absolutely, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite memory as a band director or as a student?
Um, I think as a student, one of my favorite memories, I think first would probably be the first time I made all state. The first time I made all state. Um, I had Kim Lotzenheiser as our clinician. And I mean, and I know probably everybody in the world has heard Dr. Tim speak at some point. And if you haven't, you need to do so. Get on YouTube and find some lecture that Dr. Lotzenheiser is doing. And I was just the way he spoke. Like, of course, the band itself was fantastic. I mean, it's an all-state band. Everybody there can play their instruments. It was just his approach to just and the joy of being there in the moment and the profoundness of how he spoke to us and the way that he talked to us. It just really motivated me, and it was like, man, this makes me want to be better at everything. That's one of my great memories of being in band and being a musician, that time. And then having Anthony Mayola the next year as well. I mean, having him was also a fantastic time. Um, and Colonel Gabriel at SFA Band Camp, the times that I had him, I mean, that was just, fantastic moments. As far as like me as an educator, I'd be lying, if I didn't say, winning state was not a huge deal. I mean, it was completely surreal. I mean, like I said, it was not on my radar at all. I was happy that we made finals. Like that was the leadership's ultimate goal was to get back in the finals. I did not think for the life of me that they would be seeing first place from Cleveland, Texas, the Cleveland High School band. Like, I mean, I will never ever forget that because it was if there was a picture taken of me and there was a face of pure shock, 100% was authentic right there because I was completely shocked and I'm still shocked to this day about it.
I mean, do they use competition suite?
They do.
Yeah. So like, how was that getting that? Did they do the release the recap, or did you find out at the same time as the kids?
I found out. So finally, you found the same time as the kids, and so like I mean, I'm told like I mean, I it literally when it said. I mean, I'll be brutally honest about this. When it said third place Kingwood, I was shocked because I Kingwood was first place after prelims, and so and I saw them and I thought they had a very very strong performance, and so they hadn't said our name yet, and so when they said Kingwood third, I thought, oh, I'm completely content with second place. As I said, I didn't think we would be here. Longview has a fantastic band. You know, I've seen them. I judged them. Rhonda's an amazing teacher. They've got an amazing staff over there. Completely content with that. And then when they said Longview second place, and I looked at my friend next to me, and I asked him what just happened, and he said, "You just won, dude. That's what happened." And he actually looked at the competition suite, and he told me that we tied and we had won because of the judge's preference. And I looked at it, and I was just like, it was just, was still like, I'm looking at this, and I just don't believe it. I just don't believe this is happening. So I
What?
mean, yeah,
That's great.
my reaction was the same as the kids.
Yeah, that has to be like a feeling that, oh man, we can only hope to feel one day. That's great. That's fantastic. So Shaka, you carry a lot around, a lot of a lot of expectation, a lot of accolades. What do you do to unwind from doing all that?
Um, I play video games. I'm a gamer. I don't like sit at the and play like Call of Duty and things like that. Like I play role playing games and sports games. Do that. I watch TV every once in a while. Right now we're watching The Rookie. And so, I've got a few other shows that I watch, but the one that we watch together, we've been watching The Rookie, trying to get caught up on that. And of course, Criminal Minds and Law and Order SVU, they'll stay on the TV all the time. Even if we're just cleaning the house, it stays on in the background. It's like, oh, I don't need to watch that. I know what the episode sounds like, so I know what episode it is. I like to travel. When I was younger, I didn't get to travel a whole lot when I was younger, aside from going to visit family. So as much as I can, I like to travel. Like I love to just get in my car and drive. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. I do. I like to get in my car and listen to podcasts and just drive all the time. So I like to travel a lot, and I like to do things like I like visiting breweries. Trying the next good bourbon, things like that. So um, I try to find time for myself outside of school as much as I can to just do nothing. And if I'm not doing any of those things, I'm probably just laying in bed sleep.
Yeah. Is there a video game you're kind of leaning on right now?
Right now I've been just on Madden and NCAA 26.
Okay, so were you an NCAA like esports guy before it went down and then they resurrected it?
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I was so happy when they said it was coming back out.
Okay, who's your team?
Florida State.
Florida State.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fortunate.
unfortunately, right now.
Yeah, man, LSU used to be like a dog in the old
Yeah.
the old games.
Oh yeah.
Hey, they'll get there again one
You know,
day.
they keep on. Yeah, I
That
mean,
athletic booster, they're
they
gonna pay somebody. Let me
yeah,
tell you.
they sure are,
They
man.
got rid of Brian Kelly. They're paying 2 head coaches now.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, I was still shocked from the very start that they even hired Brian Kelly because he's so
Me
Yeah,
unlikable.
too.
yeah, yeah,
Me too.
yeah. That was
Everyone knew that
weird.
it wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah.
Like anyone
Oh
could have
yeah.
told you that this wasn't gonna work.
Well, I mean, he was gonna win games. I mean, that he is a very, very good coach. He is just very unlikable.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he adopted like the accent.
Oh yeah, I
Did you
remember
ever
that.
see
Their
that? I
press
was just
conference. Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
That's why
doing?
people though loved Coach O because that was him,
Oh
He was
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah.
But
Everybody loves Coach O, man.
yeah, exactly. Until they didn't because he didn't win enough
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. At certain places, there's just that expectation. Like Bama, good luck.
Yeah.
Like if you're not winning at Bama, good luck.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I
That's just
mean,
the way it works.
Alabama lost to Florida State, and people were calling for DeVore's head, and it's like it's one game in, like give him a chance.
Yep.
They don't play.
But yeah, and LSU, like LSU, like you have to be likable. Like I feel like that's the whole vibe of LSU and
Yes.
Louisiana in general. Like you have to be likable, you have to be fun, which is kind of what Orgeron's downfall was because he was a little bit too fun.
Yes. Yes.
Which is weird because like looking at what Nick Saban did at LSU and then went to the NFL and then came back to Bama.
Yeah,
That's what everyone keeps saying, like the underground, like Nick Saban to LSU.
no, I don't think Nick Saban is so turned off by NIL and the transfer portal that no. Plus, I think he's
he's
having way too much fun on College Game Day.
he's never coming back.
Yeah.
He's
Oh no,
Miss
and
Gary's got
I don't.
him sat up in his recliner. He's not coming back.
Oh yeah, no, and I feel the same way about it too. Like the NIL stuff doesn't bother me, but the transfer portal stuff, there's gotta
Yeah,
like
that's a
I
little
agree with
much.
yeah,
you.
It's a little much. It's a little much.
yeah, way too much.
Shaka, what's something you wish you could bring back? Nostalgia. It could be anything. It could be like stuff from your childhood. The world is your oyster.
Stop.
Something I absolutely want them to bring back, and I have been advocating for this for years, and that's for them to put in Canto back on the list.
Oh,
I've
Robert
I've
W.
Oh,
I've been I've
Smith.
been I've been I've been rallying for that on Facebook for such a long time, and Canto, and they led my one away, but it's also known as they led my load away. That one too. Um,
yeah.
no, oh Fred J. I think that, and this may be it come off very get off my lawn, but I really miss traditional band uniforms. Like I miss that high school bands don't have identities anymore. I think the performance top stuff is cool, and yeah, and I get it, but I just miss I just miss looking at a band and knowing who that band is without had them having to announce who it is. Like I can look at Hebron and I know that that's Hebron, because they wear their uniforms.
Mhm.
Round Rock, they always wear their uniforms. Like I just miss that part of marching band and DCI as well. Like I said, they maybe come off as real get off my lawn, but I love seeing traditional uniforms because that was just something that I just think band uniforms are cool.
Yeah.
It's just like looking at like when I see the Lindale band, I know it's the Lindale band.
I was gonna say Marcus too. Like when you look at Marcus, like you know that that's
Yeah.
Marcus, the M.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. And exactly. And I love that uniform. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can accessorize it, and that's the thing that I like about it. Like I remember back in the day with the Colony, it was like the first one. I remember they had two separate sashes. They had their
Yeah.
daytime sash and their nighttime sash. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. That is cool. When we got our uniforms, because our uniforms are now in their, I guess we've done like 1.5 seasons with them, but we have a spirit look and then we have like a formal look. So our spirit look, we're the Hornets. So our spirit attire is sleeves are honeycomb and we have a honeycomb hip skirt too. But then we have a more formal one that's black, I guess.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
matches the
Yeah.
front, the breastplate.
Yeah. And see, breastplate. And see, and that's how it was at Tomball. Like we had our red sleeves for football games and for daytime, and then like even the little sash across the front of the uniform was red, but it could come off and it switched to a sparkly black, and we had black sleeves, and we had a feather instead of a plume.
That's cool.
I
Yeah.
like the feathered look, honestly.
We talked about that at one point.
Yeah.
We talked about getting some feathers.
The I like the plume feather combo. Like I don't know if you've
I
seen
do
Round
too.
Rock's new uniform.
Oh,
Yeah,
their new
yeah, I love that uniform.
uniform
By the way, yeah.
is so sleek.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
yeah,
With the I don't know what it is. I mean, first of all, the fact that you went like all white with that drop down sash, man, that was a decision, and it is so good looking.
How much cooler can it get to have the dragon as your mascot? And to just like that is so much cooler than most of the other mascots. And sometimes like when they implement it into things, it is so cool.
Well, and they do it so
I
well.
know.
Like their dragon design on their uniforms, like is well done.
I know. And that's like so much cooler than like, I don't know, go Bulldogs but it's just it's not the same. Like that is not the same.
No,
You were just like gifted a cooler mascot than everyone else. And like you put it on your uniforms and like your shirts and like your trailers, like whatever. That is so much cooler than other mascots.
well, yeah, and I remember when I saw the previous uniform, that all black with that dragon going down the side. I thought that was the coolest uniform in the world, and then they came out with that, and one of the assistants at Ron Rock, she taught with me at Victoria West. I texted her and I was like, "That might be my favorite uniform I've ever seen."
Mhm.
It
It's
is
cool.
it is a
Yeah,
cool uniform. Well,
beautiful
like
uniform.
Texas has like some great mascots.
Yeah.
Like just in
The
general, the
unicorns.
unicorns, the
Yeah, the
dragon.
I
grosbeck
really
goat.
love the goats. Oh my gosh, that statue that they have there.
Yeah,
It's
that one, the
terrifying.
sand crabs out of Port Lavaca,
Oh yeah.
Calhoun,
I was gonna say I love the zebras.
zebras.
Love that.
Okay, have you seen that whole entire thing about Amarillo High and the
Mm.
football team? Okay, so here's the deal. Amarillo High apparently had been playing an ineligible player.
It was like a paperwork issue,
Yeah.
something.
So like they were like a shoe in for the playoffs,
I did see
and
that actually. Yeah.
so like they had to forfeit 6 games, which dropped them down into like we might make the playoffs, we might not. And so they had to win their last game, and then it became like a 3-way tie.
Right.
Right? Have you seen this?
I haven't seen the rest of it. I read about the Amarillo thing and the kid being deemed ineligible because of a
Okay.
paperwork issue.
Yes.
Mhm.
So like, and first of all, it's the Amarillo Sandies. That's their
Oh, I
mascot.
didn't realize
They're
that.
the Sandies. And but what ended up happening is that they won their game, and so it went into a 3-way tie for the 4th place team. And the way it works is that when it's like that, they go into a coin flip.
The coin flip, yeah, the old Odessa Premier thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it
Yeah.
is straight up a coin. So like there is a video floating around on, and I've seen it several times, where the coaches meet at a like a gas station, and they all flip coins, and the odd man out is the one who gets the last spot, and it happened to be Amarillo High.
Oh man.
Like it is like the craziest thing to think about that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like, all right, guys, just like this weekend. This weekend they tied for first and second at BOA.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
co-champion.
Yeah, the co-champions. Could you imagine if they had to like play rock paper scissors to win the championship?
That
That'd
would
be
be
crazy.
that'd be
All right,
very intense.
best 2 out of 3, and the band directors meet on the 50, and that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the Friday Night Lights movie. I don't know if you've seen that one, but the
Yeah,
Midland Lee and the Premium, yeah, they had to do the coin flip.
absolutely crazy.
That's
So,
crazy.
Shaka, if you weren't a band director, what would have it been?
For the longest time, when I was younger, I wanted to be an artist, not just an artist. I wanted to draw cartoons. I used to draw all the time. I wasn't like a person that could like pull out, and draw like artwork. But if I saw like a cartoon, like something like that, I could do that. Like I could draw anything like that. Like I remember we had to do a thing for Beowulf, and like it was like a cover of a Wolverine comic, and it was a Wolverine and Sabretooth. And I just drew that and turned it in, and I got an A+ on it. And I was like, has nothing to do with Beowulf, but it was really cool. But I wanted to do that for a long time, and then that turned into I wanted to be an architect. I don't know why I wanted to be an architect. I just thought it was really really cool. Then I found out you had to take a ton of math classes, so I was like, "Yep, that ain't it." And so then that's kind of led me to the path of band is that. So I either wanted to be an artist or an architect or something that had to do with some kind of drawing in some way or fashion.
I like architecture. I can't draw all my
Not
life.
draw.
If I was in a Saw movie or like in Squid Games, that would be the way I went out. Is that they'd ask me to draw
You had
something.
to draw something.
Yeah, it would not bode well.
That is like one of my favorite things though that our kids do is now they've gotten to the age where they just like free draw and they
Mm.
bring home their picture. I love that. Eleanor brought home a house today that she had drawn. It's so cute. I love that so much.
So you mentioned that you like to watch TV. Do you have a guilty pleasure TV show, like one that you're like, "Ah, I like watching it, but I shouldn't."
I have a few. Like I have, sometimes I need some noise in the background to sleep, and so I've got about 3 or 4 shows that I rotate. Brooklyn Nine Nine, Criminal Minds. Actually, I stopped doing Criminal Minds, especially during COVID, because my dreams started getting really, really weird when I slept watching that. But yeah, Brooklyn Nine Nine, Psych. I don't know if you guys ever watched Psych, but that is
Like,
absolutely one
yeah,
of my favorite shows of all time. Scrubs.
I love
You
Scrubs.
guys are the same person.
Yeah, I think it's a tuba
And
player thing.
Maybe so.
it's the tuba player thing is what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it
Brooklyn Nine
is.
Nine. And then like one of my absolute favorite shows of all time, Breaking Bad. And then of course, like your other, classics, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Um, I've been watching Welcome to I'm a big horror person. I love horror films. So I've been watching Welcome to Derry recently.
We watched one episode.
I want to watch the next couple.
That's one like I like I like binge watching shows. That's one I need some time in between. After watching the first
That
one, it's
was
like I need a moment.
I can't remember a horror show where the opening scene was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then the closing scene of the first episode was so disturbing. Like I remember just sitting there because I watched it. Perfect time to watch it. I watched it on the way to state marching contest.
My
Oh my.
gosh.
So I'm on the bus. All the kids are, focusing on the charter bus, and I'm watching Welcome to Derry, and I'm like on my phone going,
Mr. Hawkins, what you watching?
Nothing, children. Nothing.
yeah, yeah,
Mind
yeah.
your
That was the
business.
perfect time to watch that.
Well,
Yeah,
you
the,
know,
the second episode is still pretty rough too. So just so you know.
Oh.
oh great.
Are there
Well,
3 out or is
there's
there
3 out.
okay.
The third
There's,
one came
yeah,
out
the
this week.
newest one just came. I haven't watched the third one. I watched the first two.
So what I love about it, and this is like the great thing about, like, because ultimately it's an art form, that they are so intentful with that first episode, because like what is it? Why are people like, what do they associate it with? The
Yeah.
clown. And in the
Hmm.
first episode, they shift the focus over to the fact that it is not a clown. It is a
It's not a
shapeshifter.
clown.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
And
Yep.
and I love that. I'm just like, they were so intentful on what they did in that episode that it was like, this is going to be good. This is going to be real good.
So the other day, what were we watching? We were watching like what was it? It was something stupid. It was like we literally watched like Mean Girls or something. And then I wasn't paying attention for like 10 minutes. And then I look up and Evil Dead 2 is on the screen. And like he's like, what is his name? Bruce Campbell. He's like about to cut his
Bruce
hand off with
Campbell.
the chainsaw. I was like, what
Oh
just
yeah. Oh yeah.
happened? So that's what that made me think of because Jose went on this like around Halloween. He went on this like horror kick, like you kind of do every year. And so we watched Welcome to Derry, and then next thing I know, we're watching Evil Dead 2.
Great
Speaking
movie.
of Bruce Campbell, Burn Notice is another one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
Mhm.
I forgot about that. You used to watch that show too.
Uh-huh.
The only show that you named that Jose won't watch is Breaking Bad.
Oh really?
I watched it for a long time, and then I got to a certain episode, and I was like, okay, I'm
I don't
kind
feel
of done
like
with
you
it
can
right
even.
now.
I don't even feel like you watched all the episodes up to that.
I
though.
did.
Did you really?
Yes.
The Fly episode. He won't watch past it.
Oh really?
The ending is so good.
Okay, maybe I'll pick
It
up
is.
after the flow episode. I
Yeah, you
remember
could just
everything.
skip to the next episode.
But I'm also a
Yeah.
completionist, which is also a problem.
Just watch that episode and do something like TikTok.
That's the
doom
problem with
scroll.
me in like video games, is that I'm a completionist, that I'm like, I have to hit the 100% or I'm gonna have a problem.
He really does. He'll play
Oh no,
Zelda.
I'm the same way about things.
Yeah. Like Zelda.
The last God of War, I had 100% of that one. That was
I'm about to say that was a grind. If you did you do the Valkyrie challenge and everything?
yes. Yes.
Oh.
Oh my god. Yeah.
No. Rage.
That's-
So what okay, because you've been in two different parts of Texas and we've talked about the South Texas and places to eat. How about East Texas? Where is your go-to place to eat in East Texas?
Juicy's. So a little burger joint.
Okay.
Juicy's Burgers. I mean, there's a few of them all over the place, man. But I mean, they've got amazing burgers. And then while you're waiting for your hamburger, you get free beans, and they are the best beans in the world.
Free beans. Beans with your
Yes, yes,
There's nothing wrong with
beans,
that.
beans, and magical fruit.
Yep. That is the fruit that keeps on giving.
I mean, technically, like normally with a hamburger, you get potatoes, so like beans isn't that
Yeah,
different.
I mean,
Starchy
And
vegetable.
there's a little barbecue chain called Bodacious Barbecue, and I feel like that you can go to any Bodacious in East Texas and you'll get quality barbecue.
That's
yeah, I
fun.
mean, I love barbecue. We were talking about that the other
Same.
day. So, Shaka, I got some quick fire questions for you that are never
Okay,
quite quick fire. So here we go. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
the egg.
Egg. Okay. Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, or Ariana Grande?
Ooh,
Ooh, I'll
man,
throw
that's a lot of quick
another
fire.
one in there. Here's another one. Oh, I'm gonna make it easier for you.
Okay,
I'm gonna make it easier. I'm gonna add Beyonce to that.
Beyonce.
Okay, see that just made it much
Yeah,
easier.
but if you didn't add Beyonce, I was going to say Ariana Grande.
That
Yeah, that's respectful.
fair.
Especially, are you
Yeah,
gonna watch the new Wicked movie?
I was literally about to say because Wicked's going to come out in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're
Sorry,
super excited about
I
that.
next week. Next week.
is it
Oh,
next week?
oh my goodness.
It's next week.
We got to procure childcare so that we can
Yeah.
go see it.
Yes. Do you have a favorite rom com?
Oh, I do. If I had to say one right off the top of my head right now, I'd say 10. Oh, no. Yes, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Solid.
That no one has said that. That's
Yeah,
a good
that's a
answer.
good one. Is pineapple
Yeah,
acceptable on pizza?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. And anybody who eats pineapple on their pizza cannot be trusted.
It's me. I can't be trusted.
Yeah, I like
You
pineapple on
cannot
pizza.
be trusted. No.
Is a taco a sandwich?
No, it's a taco.
Toilet paper over or under?
Neither. Wipes.
Oh, ooh, respectable. I respect that.
Try it. It'll change your life.
Whenever we go to Disney, I don't play around. There is
With the wipes.
the wipes, baby powder. If you're a large person, you know about the chub rub. That is a struggle. That is a
Oh,
struggle.
yeah.
Which Twix do you prefer, the left or the right?
The right.
Is a black belt and brown shoes acceptable?
Depends. My thing is if the brown shoes have black on them, then yes.
Okay, I'll accept that. Su- Sousa, King, or Fillmore?
Susan King or Philborn? Why are you gonna ask me that, man? That's like a no-win situation there. I'll say Susan because my favorite march is by Susan.
Ooh, what's your favorite march?
Pathfinder of Panama.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
a good one.
fun.
That's solid. Solid. Favorite stand tune?
Ooh. You know what? Land of a Thousand Dances.
What's the worst stand tune?
The horse.
Nobody likes the horse. Why does everyone
You,
hates the horse?
I'll ask you this. Really think about this. And you can think about it tomorrow. When is the last time you heard somebody play the first measure of the horse right? It's on. Yes, it's that, and then every single band.
Left,
It's can't
right,
do it. Can't do it.
left.
Can't do it. When I when when I when I took over at Shelbyville as the head director, I went in my library. Something told me I found our copy of the horse and threw it in the trash. A week later, my principal came up and asked me, "Hey, do you guys have the horse?" And I was like, "Oh, unfortunately, we don't have that anymore.
We
I don't know what
lost it.
happened to it. I don't know what happened to it."
Yeah, I get asked about the horse every now and
Do
then.
you really?
Yeah.
So I went to a very small school with a band that was not incredibly proficient. And for some reason, like that was something that the cheerleaders like to do because they could do a spell out in the middle of it. And so we would like attempt, and it wasn't even like an every year thing. It was like sometimes. The one other like very interesting thing that we did is that we would one of the coaches specifically, he was like a huge like UT fan.
March Grandioso.
We would play March Grandioso, which was also very confusing. And then when I grew up and I heard what it was supposed to sound like, I was like, oh, okay.
You know what would ruin you from March Grandioso is working at a school where March Grandioso is a tradition after a touchdown, and your football team is really stinking good, like it was at Tom Ball.
So you just, yeah,
That will really ruin March Grandioso for you.
Yeah,
yeah.
there's only so many times you can play it before you're like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite store?
My favorite story, DXL.
So, what would your walk up song be?
I woke up so.
This is such a great question.
Was it I'll Tumble for You? No. What's it called? I forget what the name of the song is.
We're gonna
So
come
because
back
I
to
can't
that.
remember what the name is, the song is. I'll say move.
All right.
That's a good. That's
I
solid.
like that one.
That's solid. What would your spy code name be?
My what?
A spy code name.
My spy code name, Hawkinator.
That's a good one.
That's solid. Is there a movie you enjoy quoting?
There's quite a few movies I enjoy quoting. I'll give you a show I enjoy quoting. The Chappelle Show.
My goodness. Oh man, I remember when the Wayne Brady crossover happened, and I thought that was the funniest thing because I had watched so much Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh
What's,
yeah,
what's Wayne Brady up to?
I mean, I think he's still doing the same stuff.
Hmm.
He
yeah.
hasn't
Haven't
He's
thought
really
still
about
done
him in
doing
a
this
while.
the same stuff.
I love Wayne
A
Brady.
movie. What's the movie that I love to quote? I mean, I guess I love quoting 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Jose's been
Yeah,
quoting Ghostbusters a lot.
I have been.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, today somebody asked us if the sousaphone was ours, and one of our coworkers was like, I don't know. And then Jose was like, if someone asks you if a sousaphone is ours, you say yes. And then we had to explain to her, like, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this the Chappelle Show thing is you can't just say just one Chappelle Show quote. You got to keep saying it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to
keep
you
going.
got to really drive them home. Are
Go ahead.
you a morning or a night person?
I used to be a night person. Now I'm more of a morning person because we start school at 7, so I have to get up at 5.
Oh my
Oh,
lord.
start
7
school at
Yeah,
a.m.
7? What time do y'all get
yeah.
out?
We get out at 2:40,
Wow,
All right.
and our bottom band is first period, so we get to start the day off right.
man.
Some
See,
beautiful concert Fs there.
yes.
Oh yes, yeah.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Man, what is the best advice I've ever received? That is a good one. I won't say it was advice. It was more of a statement said to me, and that kind of made me get my butt in gear. So as I said earlier, I had a good time in college. I overstayed my welcome by quite a few years. And so I don't know if you guys know who Dr. Gary Wirtz is. Dr. Gary Wirtz was the trumpet professor at SFA for a long time. He's still there in the admin capacity now, but Dr. Wirtz is notorious for telling you exactly what he thought and how he felt. And so after one of my juries, it's a jury. I was proud of myself because I'd actually practiced for this jury because I was playing some super stupid hard stuff. And I just played and I knocked it out of the park. So I was proud of myself. And every once in a while, somebody would say some good job or something. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Pittsburgh, Texas, notorious for a couple of things: Pittsburgh hot links and Pilgrim's fried chicken. With Bo Pilgrim. So, Dr. Wirtz, I got done playing and I was, super satisfied with myself. And Dr. Wirtz goes, "You know what, Shaka? You are probably one of the best musicians that I've ever heard come through this university." He goes, "And it sucks that you're going to work for Pilgrim's Pride the rest of your life."
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. And he told me that, and it stung to the core. It stung all the way to the core. And like, I went and I put my horn away and I was like, I need to get my shit together. Excuse the language.
Yeah, that is like, oh, I mean, like I said, you just need those people in your life to. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've had a few swift kick in the butt, so like I get it. I definitely get
Yeah.
it.
Mm.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I my mind changes about this all the time. I think that it would be really cool to fly.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Would you
At
have
one point I said telepathy, and I'm like, actually, no, I don't want to know what people are thinking.
I don't wanna know either.
nope,
That's keep
mm-mm,
that to
nope,
yourself. I don't want
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If I had the flying power, I would like have to have like a bug shield.
I don't know what's better, flying or teleportation.
And
Flying
see,
is
and so
cool.
like, so that's the thing. Like, and I thought about this with teleportation. You just pop up where you are.
Huh?
I would want to fly because I would want to see the things that to see on the way there. Like if I was flying from here to Hawaii, I would want to see everything in, like the water. And I mean, I would want to see that. Like I'd want to be able to see the texture of the earth under me as I'm flying to the next spot, rather than just popping up somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
yeah. It's about the journey.
Yeah. You're
Exactly.
right.
If you could invent a holiday, what would you celebrate?
Man, that is a really good question. A holiday, National Day of Silence.
Ooh,
Like everybody, just shut up. just,
For all those
yeah,
overstimulated
just
people.
just
I get
nothing.
overstimulated.
Like just like that right there, just like that. Like we don't have to look at each other. We don't have to talk to each other. Let's just sit.
Just be
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
All right,
exist.
all right. If you could have dinner with any three people, any three, dead or alive, who would they be?
um, Emmett Smith, Arnold Jacobs, and Aaron Copeland.
that's a list.
That is a list. Well, okay. So we talked to Kim Shuttlesworth, and she asked us this question: who's your Mount Rushmore of band directors?
My Mount Rushmore. So that means I get five or four. I can't remember.
For
4.
Four band directors that I think are the Mount Rushmore of band directors. The people that I think that are the absolute top of my profession.
yes.
Purely
Well,
band director.
okay. Let me change the question.
Okay.
Your Mount Rushmore of people that you feel have been. I mean, it's yours. So like, it doesn't have to be just in the effect of what they've done for the profession, but it could also be to the effect of what they've done for you, or like any of that kind of stuff.
When
Okay.
Kim asked us that question, I answered it basically twice because I went like that route, but it can be either.
Okay. If I had to say a Mount Rushmore of people who have had the biggest direct um influence on my career as a teacher, I would say Greg Rose, um, Fred J. Allen, Eddie Earhart, and Doyce Graham.
That's a solid list.
Mhm.
I'll tell you like
Like,
a great story, like, and each of them have a, I mean, Ivy, a profound story. Like I told you how much Greg Rose, like, as a musician and a mentor for me, he was just everything you could ask for. Eddie Earhart, I moved to Forest Park. I started band in sixth grade, and I was good, and I got to Forest Park and I was put in the top band because the middle school director told Mr. Earhart that I was a really good tuba player, so he put me in the top band. And I remember I thought about quitting band because I thought I couldn't play the music, and like I told him, I was like, I just don't know I can do this, blah. And him and his clarinet player self stayed after rehearsal with me for an hour and sat down and worked through every single piece with me on tuba. And like after that, I mean, that just he could do no wrong for me after that, you know. Fred J. Allen, Fred J. Allen. The first time I had him as a clinician, I was like, yeah, I'm going to SFA. That's a done deal. And he's had such a profound effect on me as a person, just as a musician, and his expectations, and he never ever gave up on me. Like I said, I was in school for a long time, and he stayed on top of me every single year, and I'll never ever, I can't thank him enough for that. And then of course I talked about Doyce. Doyce was the person that was there from the start of my career, and he's always been around. So,
talk about an East Texas legend.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So, do you have a karaoke song?
Yes. Um, what's it? It's I'll be. What's his name? Uh, I can't think of his name. I'll be your crying shoulder. That song.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Who is
yeah.
Oh,
that? Who sings that?
I don't know. You
Evan, it's something McCain.
Edwin McCain. Yeah.
Edmund McCain. Yeah, it's either that
yes.
or either that or Three Libras by Perfect Circle.
Oh wow, you said Perfect Circle. Oh, wow.
Taking it way back.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Oh man, I haven't
What's your
heard
karaoke
I haven't
song?
heard those songs in forever. Oh, it's I swear.
I
I swear.
swear.
Yeah, yeah. By All for One. Let's get it. Like
All
I
for
know
one.
the country. I know the
I was
country
about to
one.
say, yeah.
I know the country one came out first,
By the
but
moonlit.
But let's be honest, the
yeah,
All for One is the best one.
yes, yeah, exactly. Does anybody remember that band?
No, I remember their version of that song.
Yeah.
But I don't remember
What's one of the
the
other
Yeah.
songs
band.
from there? Like You Dropped the Bomb on Me. I think that was
Was
one of
that them?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
I'm
that.
pretty
Wait,
sure.
the Gap Band did You Dropped the Bomb on Me.
Who? What? They
See, I was
did
about to
one
say,
just
I
like
didn't know
that.
that's
Let me
right.
see. I'm gonna have to look this up real quick.
I have you ever actually sang karaoke though?
Once.
I can't tell you the last time I sang karaoke. We should go.
It's been a while for me.
Should do it again. We should do band yap karaoke.
Oh my god.
I don't think we'll be able to do that this
we should
TMEA, but
do a band yap at Howl at the Moon and see how that turns out.
I don't go to Howl at the Moon anymore.
neither do I.
I don't go there
Neither do
anymore.
I.
I don't go there anymore. It was hard to retire from there, but I finally retired.
Called it quits.
You aged
Yeah, called
out.
it quits.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
aged out of How at the
Yeah,
Moon.
aged out.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for real.
I don't think I'll be going back either.
Oh, my-
I'll go
Okay.
back. Like I think I went this last TMEA and there was nobody there, and I'm like, this is okay. I can handle this.
Yeah.
Somebody asked us to go, and she really wanted us to go, and I was just like, I'm too old for this. I can't do this,
Yeah,
y'all.
you aged out.
I really did age out.
Well, it's just like with Pat O'Brien's closing down. That's like,
Rip.
ugh.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Pass was bad news.
No, I get it. I get it. We have a fellow band director that became a little bit of a klepto.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, over at Pat's.
I saw a
Wasn't
fellow
there-
band to get kicked out of there one time.
My lord.
Yeah, drinking apple juice.
Yeah, no. This there was a DJ there, and the DJ was playing like this earthy music, and he was like, "Hey man, can you turn this off? Nobody wants to hear this crap." And he's like, "No, man." So the DJ walked off. He went to the DJ booth and turned it off. And so
Oh,
they kicked him out, of course.
Man.
bold.
I mean, no, if nobody wanted to
Hey,
listen
man.
to it,
Killing the vibe.
that's how you run your customers away.
Yep.
And they
That's
kick
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
customers out.
Yeah, and then they, close business.
Yeah, yeah. That was the beginning of the end,
Yeah,
let's say.
right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh man. If it's a Texas shaped waffle, always a waffle.
I've been digging the pancakes recently.
Yeah, yeah, it's waffle. Waffle. I gotta go with waffle.
I mean, I prefer
Waffles are
waffles.
like superior to pancakes in every single way.
Okay, Leslie, note.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on.
Jose won't watch
agree-
Parks and Recreation either.
I will agree with you, unless they're coming from Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel pancakes hit different.
You know, that's crazy to me because you don't even like Cracker Barrel, but you like their pancakes.
Yes.
And I don't even
get
think you
that.
liked their pancakes until like a few months ago. You finally decided, okay, I can tolerate this.
Yeah, it's because I like Mexican food.
I know.
Like a Mexican.
But I've been
breakfast.
there before. Like me, there's plenty of things that I hated, and I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty good.
It's because he's forced to like Cracker Barrel because I like Cracker Barrel.
Because
And
you
so
like Cracker.
every once in a while when he's feeling kind, instead of getting Mexican breakfast, he'll be like, how about we get Cracker Barrel? But
Hey,
he
that Cracker Barrel
discovered,
breakfast.
I know, and he discovered through that process that he really likes their pancakes.
Oh yeah, I get that.
They just
Hey,
hit
I
different.
get that. There are some days I like Mexican breakfast. There's some days I like good old Southern breakfast. Luckily, right by the school, I can get both.
And that's a blessing and a curse, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it really is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, there's a when I was working over at Wortham, there was a donut shop right next to the school, like legitimately right next to the school. That was the worst thing for my waistline.
I've had to
Oh,
literally tell myself to stop going to buy kolaches. Not just kolaches, boudin kolache.
boudin
Ooh,
kolache.
ooh,
Dang, East Texas be built
Game
different.
game changer.
I would try that.
ooh.
No,
Okay,
nobody around here has those. I tell you that.
yeah.
Really?
What?
That there's no donut palaces around there?
I've never seen boudin, but
Not
they
boudin.
probably have. I don't know.
I've never seen the boudin.
I've never seen the boudin ones.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I would
You're
try
missing
one
out.
though. I I agree.
Do you have like a favorite Cajun food?
Mm, Cajun. Probably just like blackened catfish or shrimp and grits.
I can't get behind grits.
I know.
I just
That's
can't.
You know what? Again, like that's a thing that I've like grown to like a lot more than I've gotten older. Especially if you get like some really good grits, like if you get like shrimp and grits or like papados or something like that. Oh yeah.
Maybe I need to. I don't
I
know.
like grits. My dad always ate grits though when I was growing up, and that's like where I ate
Well, it's
grits.
just like
Your grandmother
menudo.
was not making
No,
grits.
it's just like menudo. Like some people are like, ugh, menudo. I'm like, I grew up eating that.
I love some menudo.
Yeah,
And that's when I tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, my kids love menudo. They're like, your kids love it. It's like they've been eating it since they were born. So yeah, they love it.
yeah.
It's
Everybody,
expensive
yeah,
now
yeah.
because
It's
everybody eats
Yeah,
menudo.
yeah.
yeah. It's a
It
big problem.
was one of those things like again, like I was like, "Ugh, it's gross," and then I actually sat down and tried it. And I was like, how have I not had this magic in my life?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, same with pozole.
Oh, we
I
had
just
pozole last
I made
night.
pozole yesterday.
Oh,
I've made
Oh yeah.
menudo before, but I didn't do bad. It was my first time, but it's just like it needed some tweaking, and I haven't made it again. I'll have to try again.
yeah. But your
I
pozole is
did.
pretty
I
good.
put too much hominy in the
I,
menudo.
when you order a 6 pound can,
I didn't order the 6 pound can when I made the menudo. It was only last night when I made the pozole. 6 pounds of hominy. My bad. It's like $4. That's why you don't know which can you're getting. 6 pounds of hominy for
it
$4.
was as large as
Right?
our baby.
Yeah, well,
You can't pass up on that deal these days. You cannot.
I know.
Do y'all
Uh,
have HEBs out there?
Of course.
Okay, you know, HEBs just made their way up into the Dallas Frisco
there
area.
were fewer HEB deserts than there used to be.
Yeah, that was
Oh, well,
so.
we just moved into our house, and like the nearest HEB is like almost 20 minutes away. And she's like, "We should just go to Walmart." And I'm like, no, we go to HEB. It's like 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes, and it's worth it.
Yeah,
And I will
man.
drive that
Yeah,
far.
the produce and like the meat is just different at HEB versus a Walmart.
Yes.
Their store brand products are just like so good too.
Yeah,
Yes, and not to mention just the deals.
Yep.
yeah. I will fight someone over that.
You really will, and you don't even do the grocery
Yeah,
shopping primarily. Jose has a problem because if I like send him into HEB for one thing, he comes back with like a basket full.
Yeah, same thing. Because you just walk by and you see that that yellow ticket, and
Mhm.
you just need whatever's on that ticket, even though you don't need it.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm at HEB all the way. Second would be Kroger.
We don't have Kroger's here.
Yeah, I know. You don't get
Yeah.
to save the gas money.
No.
Uh, that is one thing. I don't know. HEB does a pretty good job with the gas, though.
Their HEB has the cheapest gas like closest to our house. Sam's has the cheapest. But Sam's for us is like way on the other side of town.
And see, I'm a Costco guy, not Sam's.
And we don't have a Costco either. It's so
That's
sad.
unfortunate. That's
It
unfortunate because
is.
Costco
It
is a jam.
really
Yeah,
is. It's
I
so
know we
far.
don't live that
The
life.
closest one is in Round Rock.
Oh,
Damn.
and yeah.
So Shaka, here's one of our last questions of the night. Is there a Dairy Queen in your hometown?
In Pittsburgh? Well,
Yes. Let's say Pittsburgh.
no, there was. It closed down.
Okay.
Rip.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I
Yeah.
know, and I love some Dairy Queen.
Okay. What's your Dairy Queen order?
Kind of depends. It rotates, so it's either a foot long hot dog and fries, or the Hunger Buster.
Oh, I like the Hunger Buster.
I like Hunger
Yeah.
Buster too.
And if it's not that, then it's
Did,
either a Dilly Bar or a Heath Blizzard.
Excellent
yeah,
choices.
Heath Blizzards. Like Heath gets slept on all the time.
Corbin, I didn't tell you this. You were gone the other day, and I found a Heath bar, a mini Heath bar in the Halloween candy. And I said, "Oh my gosh, a Heath bar." And Corbin said, "What is that?" And I said, "It's a Heath bar." And he said, "No, but like, what is that?" And I was like, "It's toffee." He was like, "It's just toffee?" I was like, "Well, covered in chocolate." And I had to explain to him what a Heath bar was.
Oh
And he was like,
no.
"I've never had one of those." And I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
Tell you, a Heath Bar by itself is good, but you put it in some soft serve.
Yeah, game changer.
It elevates it to a
Yes.
different level.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, we were talking about this with somebody else that like Butterfingers apparently are starting to like disappear.
Who was that we talked about?
I
that
don't
with?
know, but they're starting to disappear.
Like you don't see
That's
as
a
much
shame.
Butterfinger as you used to.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Now that you mention it, you really don't.
Who was it that said that? They said they took it off the Sonic menu
I don't
and
know.
that they don't have Butterfinger at Sonic anymore.
But I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that's just. I mean, when's the last time you went to the store and went, "I'm out of Butterfinger"?
For me,
Like, I mean, I feel like I buy the I buy not the what's the it's the Payday and what's the other one?
Whatchamacallit?
No, the
Oh,
Payday is the
a grand bar. Is it a grand bar?
100
is the
grand.
Payday the one that's covered in chocolate?
No.
Baby
Payday
Ruth?
is peanuts and caramel.
And then there's the other one that's the peanuts and caramel covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
What is that
What
one?
is it? I don't know.
Is it like a Baby Ruth?
No.
Baby Ruth,
Baby Ruth
yeah,
has,
Yeah, it's a Baby Ruth.
but Baby Ruth has nougat.
What are
yeah.
your feelings
They both
on
have
nougat?
nougat.
Payday doesn't have nougat.
Yeah, it does.
No, it does not.
Oh, people about to fight.
Does it not? I thought the only difference was that one was covered in chocolate and one wasn't.
No, Payday does not have nougat. I'm Googling it right now.
Payday candy bar recipe.
Whoa. It doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. It's because I can't spell.
The homemade one is peanut butter, condensed milk, peanut butter chips.
Well,
and
this says
marshmallow.
it. The key ingredients of a Payday candy bar is salted peanuts covering a nougat-like caramel center. But it's
Yeah, see, yes, nougat, yeah.
Yeah, nougat like.
it says caramel nougat. This
Oh.
is blowing my mind right now. I don't like this. It's
Yeah.
tickling my brain.
Yeah, it's just saying,
Tacos.
like clearly the only difference is one's covered in chocolate and one is not.
But I don't feel like they're the same thing. Like a
Go
Baby
buy,
Ruth.
go buy, go buy
I'm gonna
both of
have
them
to.
tomorrow and try it.
Jose, we gotta go to the store.
Like right now.
Maybe. Because this is like this hurts
It's
me.
just like when somebody asks, "You want a Three Musketeer
So,
bar?" No,
but I
get that
gotta
trash
tell
out of
Shaka
here.
why. I hate nougat, but I love Paydays because it's like caramel.
Maybe it's, I don't know, caramel mixed in with the nougat. That's a difference. I don't know.
I don't know because it says it's caramel nougat, which that has to be different. It's different than I don't know.
Regular nougats.
I just
yeah.
this hurts me now, and I'm gonna have to switch permanently to Butterfingers.
You mean Baby Ruth?
No!
They can't even have Baby Ruth.
Butterfinger is a unique candy, which is why it's a
It
shame
is.
that it's disappearing. There's no other candy bar like it because everything else is a combination of nut, caramel, and nougat.
Yeah,
true.
like the Payday and Baby Ruth being the same thing. Just
Exactly.
Is Baby Ruth
See,
the
you
one
just-
that's in Caddyshack?
Yes, as a baby Ruth.
yes,
it's Baby
the Baby Ruth. Yeah, when he pulls
This-
out of the tub, out of the pool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This hurts me. The Payday. I don't know that I can do this anymore. This podcast is over forever.
Urgent, burn it down, burn it down.
Ugh. I'm gonna have to go to the store tomorrow. Man, that hurt me.
Hey, but you know what candy that gets slept on the most is the Zero Bar.
I love Zero bars too. They do have nougat in them, but they're the only white chocolate candy bar.
Are they?
Well, you can
Uh,
get like a Hershey's cookies and cream bar.
Those hurt my teeth.
I like those a lot.
Those are too much. Those are too
You
much.
can get sometimes like a white chocolate Reese's.
Too white for me.
No, I can't. No, look, there's one Reese's. That's it. All
The
this
regular
new, like, yeah, all this new. Oh, it's a brownie covered. No,
I don't
no.
like any of that either.
It's peanut butter and chocolate. That's it.
I can get
What are your
Like,
thoughts
I
on
don't-
Reese's Pieces?
I love Reese's Pieces. Again, if it's not a Heath Blizzard, it's a Reese's Pieces Blizzard.
Jose just likes to like pick out the things that we differ on in opinion. And I
Oh, really?
love Reese's Pieces. He hates Reese's Pieces because he feels like they're fraudulent because they don't have any chocolate in them.
Oh, yeah. Got you. I hear you.
He
It's
he
just the
doesn't
peanut
like
butter with the
the
shell.
candy coating. Yeah, and he doesn't like the shell.
Makes me feel weird.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you want a shell, you just buy M&Ms, right?
Buy peanut butter
Yeah,
M&Ms.
that's
Peanut
fine.
peanut M&Ms. Hey, but you don't get as many M&Ms with the peanut butter for M&Ms because they're too big.
Jose bought the because I
I'm
love the
going down
peanut
a
butter
real
M&Ms
fat man
too.
rabbit hole right
Oh
now.
no,
I'm
right
just
And
gonna
now,
go
I
with that.
and here we are with you, honestly.
there's nothing wrong with it.
When
But
I say
Jose,
things like don't get the peanut butter M&Ms because you get less M&Ms.
well, there's a hack. They have peanut butter mini M&Ms that are the same size as the mini M&Ms, and they come in the share size bag. And if you want to talk about fat people things, that is the hack right there. Peanut
Tell me
butter
more.
mini M&Ms.
That's great.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. We don't have a bag of that. Didn't I buy you a bag of that?
Yeah, it's in the pantry. That's how I know.
Oh.
I've studied.
We've gone to church. We've
Yes,
gone to
I've
church.
taken notes. We prayed about it.
Well, Shaka, I think that's all I got.
Now that we've gone
Man.
completely off the rails on the candy, right?
And
Oh yeah.
that's the best way to go,
Yeah.
is off the
Oh yeah,
rails.
exactly.
Well, Shaka, we appreciate you being on, and I mean, now that it's near 11 o'clock, and you have a 7 a.m.
Good Lord, let this man go to
rehearsal
bed.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. No, this has been an absolute blast. I'm so glad you invited me.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's been our pleasure.
Yep. Well, thanks for listening to Band Yap. We'll see you next time. Bye.
We out.